Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the live. Yeah, coming up. Coming on for tonight. I hope you all enjoy the live. Today's gonna be about the lost and how we can do to raise the vibration for them, and how as spiritual teachers we can teach them and help them from being lost. We want to show them the light that we are and show them how good we are, not just by our words, but by our actions. So if you wouldn't like, we also share paranormal, spiritual stories and extraterrestrial stories. It'd be nice if you can hit the likes, the shares. That'd be much appreciated. Just getting on a little bit late tonight. I woke up late. I've been taking long trips into the Nether realm here the last couple days. I've probably been venturing off someplace off world. I don't. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. But some of them will come to me later on. But at the end of the day, I'm here. We're here. We meet together as one, and a unity, and a collective. And we show that love how we are. I'm doing this, so please don't mind me. This happens when you wake up late. I guess because the universe decided it had some extra knowledge it wanted to impart to me. Hello Diane, welcome to the live. Hello everybody that came in, sorry. Shakira. Can you all hear me well enough? I'm not even sure. Okay. You want to take this negative energy that's been floating around the universe, you want to push it up into a positive. You know, we all have a calling and we all have a truth. One person's truth is not another person's reality. They might not believe the same, and I'm often thought of, this too. That a lot of people judge things without hearing the whole discussion first. Just because you hear something that might be hurtful doesn't mean it is to be hurtful. It's meant to guide you, to show you the right from the wrong. Even if people say it to you, sometimes, like I said, you can't always, everything's not always butterflies and rainbows and lollipops and unicorns. It's not always like that, Sometimes you have to hear the harsh reality of life. And yes, it's all about being happy, but also, sometimes, you need that stern voice in your life, because think of it like this. If you have a child, right, you have a child and you're always coddling them, they're going to grow up, and how are they going to be? When anything serious comes to play, they're just going to go, oh, love and joy, and act like there's no big problem to it. In a scientific point of view, and a lot of spiritual people say, when you coddle your child like that a lot of people that coddle their children and not ever speak any harsh words to them, what happens? They usually end up being not very good at all. So like everything, we have to use our discernment in what we do and what we say and how we guide each other. It's for the embedment of mankind and humanity that we use those words with enlightenment, and we use it with enlightenment and the power of the unconditional love. Well, your issue's a whole different story there, Mr. Kevin. You got lots of issues, buddy. But, you know, you've actually changed a lot in the last year or so. The reason why is because when your mindset is different from others. I don't like using that word, but a lot of people use it in a derogatory meaning. And it's not to mean derogatory. Some say they call it eccentric. Oh, well, you're an eccentric. No. In my reality, I see that you have a lot of things that you can improve, but in your reality, you don't really think there's any. That's where I say you have to use your discernment. You take that knowledge, and if it resonates with you, you adjust and fix yourself. Other than that, you know, there's not much more a person can do. We're only here to help and guide people. You take what resonates with you. Sometimes you take it with a grain of salt. It's not meaning to be harmful. It's meaningful to come out with a thing of love and compassion and a thing of gracefulness. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are on different levels, and they're going to see different things. It's how we use that knowledge and how we speak it. What's right, what's wrong, the good and the bad, you know. The balance, we always need that balance. Hello, welcome to the live, Miss Dizzy Hippie. It's great to have you all here. Just waiting for people to show up because I was a little late, so they're probably going to be late too. I'm fine. Slept all day. I felt like I was somewhere else. You know, I kind of feel like, sometimes, you know, it's like everybody knows. Sometimes when I have these experiences where I sleep for all these hours and I don't remember where I go, I end up figuring it out later on where I go. And I was wore out after all that channeling that night. That took a toll on me, you know, with all those energies switching back and forth, maintaining their integrity. You know, a lot of people say I should try to do it every day or all the time. And to me, I don't feel like doing that because I go with the flow of the universe. If they want me to do that, then I do that. If they want me to, whatever they guide me to do, as I do. You know, I'm only here to serve everybody here and to help everybody. Yeah, a lot of people are not ready. A lot of people, honestly, some, like I said in the other live the other day, a lot of people are on different dimensions, and we're all in the same. We can all see each other, but we're all on a different dimension. If that makes any sense, if that makes any sense to anybody. We all need help. But for you, let me look. I'm trying not to use too much of the energy today, because for you, maybe I think that being around like-minded people like you would really benefit you, because I see a very happy, very joyous. I almost see. It reminds me of Buddha, kind of like the great Buddha. You know, he always laughed and told jokes with his spirituality. That kind of his kind of aura would fit something like you, because it seems like you like to talk about spirituality, but you do it jokingly, and you find that your laughter decreases the stress. That's what I got. I mean, that's what I feel right now for you. And, you know, Mr. Caleb from the ninth dimension over here, you know, and then he definitely, you're all on a different dimension, but we're on the same reality with a different dimension, different vibration. Exactly. When Gabby said that, you know, I've been telling you that stuff for about a year now. Thank you. Thank you for the heart. It's very much appreciated. What Gabby was stating on seeing and hearing the news reports or officials getting caught up, the changes. Exactly, you know. Miss Gabby is an angel, and I feel that she's an angel. She's got a very cool spirit, and, you know, she's very well in tune. And, you know, we're all here to heal people and help people and guide people. It's not just about, you know, the UFOs and the spatial beings, you know. It's about spirit itself. When you become one with the universe, you find yourself on the same playing field as them, you know. We're all equal, and we're all trying to help humanity ascend into the next part of their life. It doesn't matter how many UFOs you see at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. It's the experience that you share, and you're learning and telling people about those experiences. That is the greatest gift, you know, to sit on a live and have people talk about their stories, and that sharing, that unburdening of them talking about the scariest thing they might have had fear on it, and someone going and talking about that and helping them release that fear and showing them, don't be fearful, don't fear the unknown. We never want to fear the unknown, because, you know, when you fear the unknown, then it's all fear in you. And Gabby is she's very wonderful. I mean, I've always admired her for her knowledge and the beauty within inside of her words. You know, when she says those words, you get caught and you get caught up in listening to them, and you understand it because she has that tone, that frequency that it locks on to yours, and you understand what she's saying. Because a lot of people don't understand certain vibrations. Like, I could sit here and I can, like I said, I've repeated this stuff 1,500 times online, but nobody really heard it. She comes on and says it. People hear. That's because we listen to certain vibrations and certain frequencies. People resonate with certain people. I might come off a little harsh on saying it. She comes off a little more loving, or, you know, the other way around. She can come off harsh on it and people would understand it. It's all in our how we perceive and how we talk about things. You know, our perception, how we perceive things. And we all have those abilities. Like I've always said, no one person's greater than another. We're all equal at the end of the day. We're all here. And yeah, like you said, right, it's just the fear. Right, the fear is just confusion, and it's holding you back. Yeah, that's what it is. It's holding you back. When you lower your vibration, you can't raise. And that's why, you know, you need to go and listen to like-minded people, and when people fall, you need to help them up. And people think they can dump on me all the time. Well, don't let them dump on you. See, that you have to say, it's my power, it's my energy, I'm taking it back. You have no control over me. That's why I love the Labyrinth, because at the end of the story, the Goblin King was giving her everything she wanted, but he was being sneaky about it. And what did she say at the end of the day? He was trying to take her power, but he was doing it by giving her everything she wanted. But at the end, she took her power back because she knew what was important. That's why I love that story. You gotta take your power back. Take your power back. You're in control. You're in control of your life, like you're in control of your body. Does anybody control your body? No, you do. Your soul does. Your mind does. Your heart does. Who controls your arm? Who makes your arm move? Who makes your legs move? You. You're in control of it. You're in control of everything. The universe is within inside of you. If you look deep within yourself, you have your DNA. And within your DNA is your past lives. That's a part of you. And that has been my whole thing since I've came back on the lives. If you go to each one of the lives, there's actually a general narrative, and it all fits the same thing. Be complete. Be who you are. Your past lives are important. Not your major focus, but it is important. And one of them was the magic I talked about. The magic's in certain beings and certain realities. It's all the same magic. It's just how you perceive it. If you go back and look at the titles of all my lives, it's basically telling you what you need to do. That's me throwing breadcrumbs to all of you. That's the path. You look at all of the lives that you've been in, there's a pattern. I've always said there's patterns in what I'm saying, but a lot of people don't pick up patterns. So, you know, they might pick it up here and there, but you know, that's what we do. We say things in a different way, and sometimes, you know, you have to hit somebody with a truth stick. Sometimes you have to hit them with the kindness and the love and the compassion. But again, like somebody else would say, it's all about your discernment. And what you say to them is paramount. As somebody else would say, what you say to them is paramount, and it affects them in certain ways. So, as how one perceives it, it's on you. I would just take everything. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It helps my lives and my donation lives and videos I do. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day, just be who you are, because the truth lies within. And the only way that you can achieve that is listen to people like Thank You, like Bugsy, like me, and, you know, like the rest of us. We all have different knowledge. See, the other thing too, Everyone goes, well, he knows more than me. He knows more than me. Oh, not really. He knows, maybe he knows something you don't know. Maybe you know something he don't know. Like I said, we all have different abilities. We all think differently. That's why we're cool as a collective, because whenever somebody doesn't know something, you can teach that person. And they can better themselves. You know, not everybody has... not everybody is completely empath and they can feel everybody's emotions. Not everybody's telekinesis. Not everybody is very perceptive. We all have our different abilities. We're all unique, and it's like I said before, we're all a part of the puzzle. We make that puzzle. We shape that puzzle to fit in the grand scheme of the universe. And if we don't, what are we doing? We're being a carbon copy of somebody else's piece of puzzle to fit into that. And are you going to eventually fit in? No, because you're just copying somebody else. You're not being your authentic self. And when you want to ascend and you want to help somebody, you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. You gotta be your authentic self. Speak the truth. Speak the words that come out. And if you feel you're not going to speak those truths and you're going to speak those things, then you know what you need not to do. You need not to open your mouth. But if you feel it's the truth and you want to empower somebody, then yeah, you speak that truth. You speak that love. You speak that light. And today is going to be about Lost, as it fits the narrative of all my lives. That each one of my lives is a part of the puzzle that I'm trying to get everybody to understand. And that's how, you know, you roll. You know, you roll with the universe. You roll with the punches. Like they told me, like with me and Caleb, here's a cool thing. I was talking on here, and we picked up voices behind me. One of my followers picked up a voice behind me speaking. And you know what the voice was? It said, do it, do it, do it. Call on us. They're telling us to call on them. We need to heal them. We need to help them. That's what the message was. Caleb will tell you himself. We've heard it at least 100 times within that hour, 2 or 3 hours we did it. We went back and we heard every single message that was said on there. Heal them, help them, call on us. That is what they told us. And that is what comes through with me. So that's why I try to keep the lives where one person's speaking at a time, because sometimes there's a message as I'm speaking and it's not coming from my voice. And that's why I encourage people to stay on the live, see what you hear, because sometimes you never know what happens. We're all here to help each other. We all need not to be so negative. You need to be positive. Just because somebody doesn't think like you doesn't mean they're evil or eccentric. You know, what makes these cards evil? Everybody goes, well, tarot cards and oracle cards are evil. You know what? They're not evil, but if you're intending them to do evil, then they're evil. Because God is energy, God is light, God is a spirit. And that in turn tells you, when you use that energy from God's spirit, are you intending to do good? Are you intending to do bad? Are you intending to help somebody? Or are you intending to be selfish and hold that energy within and not share with others? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Many times in different cultures and different aspects of humanity, they've used many magical tools. When the Israelites, what did Moses use? Moses used a staff. Some would say that was evil. You know, the 10 Commandments were written on a tablet. And you know what? Society breaks the rules of the 10 Commandments today. Do not worship any graven images. And what are they doing? They're worshiping graven images. I mean, so take everything with a grain of salt and go what resonates with you. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you. When you listen to your mind, it gets you in trouble. Listen to your heart and listen to your soul. Listen to what it tells you. Listen to that spirit. Because you can hear the spirit when you look within. And you want those real people, then you want those real people, you have to show them who you are. If you go hunting for somebody, you're not going to find them. Sometimes it'll say seek when you will find. Sometimes you won't find what you're looking for. And sometimes you might not like what you find. So that's why it's better to focus on yourself and help humanity until that time comes. That if that person's meant to be, and those people are meant to be around you, then they will stick around you. They will feel your energy. They will feel what you are, and they will come to you. You know, you always got to think outside the box. I was always told, I'm outside of the box. Now, speaking of the boxes, let's bring up other people in the box because I'm sick of rattling my mouth. Let's bring on the peoples. Let's see. Hello. Welcome.
This is my first time in here.
Well, it's an honor.
And I'm from Sydney, Australia. I love these kind of lives.
Oh, I love the Australians.
Can you tell me a bit about your page and what you do and everything?
Well,
I think I might have picked you up from Alien Teas Live.
Probably. I have a dragon soul within inside of me. It came from
Yeah.
another universe, and he's learning about emotions, so that's why he came to Earth.
Oh,
And
wow.
he came down here, and he's with me in my body, in here, in the shell of a human that I am, the human husk.
I actually
So
believe
we
that.
res-
I actually believe that.
we're here to help humanity and better it. Despite even if we talk to one person and we help one person, that message will get out. It doesn't matter to me if we have 500 people, we have 11 people, we have 4 people. At the end of the day, we're here for one reason and one reason only, to speak the truth, share our experiences, and hopefully people will see through that how enlightened they are, and they will share their experiences. So by doing that, we can change the way of thinking outside the box, thinking there's more to life than just the narrow perception society has given you. They want to perceive to you, follow this book and do this and do that.
Mm,
Oh, you know you're
religion,
damned and this and that. But
it it
it's
really
not all
is.
about the doom and gloom.
No, it's not. Like you read, I've been studying with a friend. He's got his own spiritual stuff that he's actually been above and seen things, and he has his missions, and he sort of helped me go through like reading everything. Like everything is not what it seems. Like Adam and Eve. Eve wasn't even the first female.
No, I've I've actually, now this is from my experience. The beings that I see tell me a story different from what everybody else heard.
So what's your theory? We've been questioning this. So
Theory,
why could Jesus walk on water, but Adam couldn't?
because the reason for that is Adam was made of dust. Jesus was made out of spirit.
Okay, yeah, that
And
makes
I just
sense.
that just I and again, a lot of what I say when it comes to this kind of stuff doesn't come from me because
Yeah,
like Cal here will tell you that a lot of the information that I get, I don't bother looking up. It just comes out at me, and then when I question it myself, I look it up and it's actually true. So I gave up. Don't even bother anymore.
mm,
But
I have a little
it,
problem.
and
I've
oh, I got
moved
another.
into I've moved into a
Uh,
house, a new
yes.
unit, and I've got a spirit here.
Uh
It's
huh.
moved a chair around. The last 2 weeks, my 1-year-old male cat is like howling so loud just to irritate me. And I think it's the spirit just trying to get to me. How do I
Well,
fix that?
like everybody wants to separate the UFOs and the paranormal and the
It's real though.
aliens. They
It's
want to
real.
separate them, but it's all together. If you think about it, it's all the same thing. It's just a different kind of magic, or you want to call it magic, because when you see a ghost, I've seen ghosts. You got
Yeah.
to discern, and like my friend Honey would say, you got to use your discernment when it comes to seeing something like that, because some could be an echo from another universe.
Yeah.
What I mean by echo now, say there's a child in another universe, right? And that child's really crying and she's feeling sad and her vibrations going out of control. It's raising very high. It sends a ripple into the universe, right?
Yeah.
And in this universe, it came so strong it bleeds through into this reality, into your dimension, want to call it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're seeing that ghost, it could be called an echo. It could be somebody from that world that you're seeing because
Oh,
your energy
yeah.
is so strong. Now, another way to perceive that is it could be somebody that passed on that has a message, or it felt that it's not time for them to go yet.
Okay. That's very interesting. I
Or
didn't
this
think
is
of
why I
those.
said that everybody has these theories about, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, but they're not looking at the broader spectrum of things. Things are not always as you seem. There's a lot of things going on at multi times. So you can't, that's why you can never pinpoint exactly what something is because there's so many other things going on behind it. And it also could be an alien being that you're seeing it camouflaged, and sometimes that technology could be fading because of your vibrational frequency, could be distorting it. If you get that.
Well, it's interesting you say that because we've been looking into like the Merkaba, the aliens, the giants. So I've been opening my mind to a lot of stuff that I've never opened my mind to before.
And a lot of people don't open their mind. A
Yes.
lot
Hi,
of people,
Callie. Hi, Callum. Nice to
Hello.
meet you all.
Nice to
I
be
don't
here.
normally jump in boxes like this, but I just felt drawn to it.
Oh, I
okay,
cannot
here's what we're going to
mute.
do before this even starts. Hold on, hold on.
I
Oh,
don't,
be
have,
We're
right
going to
back. I
go.
got
I
trouble.
don't have access to mute. That's weird. What the heck?
Yeah, what we want to do is, because I woke up really late and I kind of got a headache, so can we not like try to talk over anybody this time? Kind of like do go in turn if we could, please. I'd be so ever grateful.
Yes, I might have to go down because I can't mute.
Oh, geez. I was wanting to interrupt everyone all afternoon. What am I
I
going to do now?
know,
I'll have to come back because I can't mute.
I know. Everybody loves to do that. They want to have these lives where they talk all over everybody and you can hear absolutely, you can hear everything that's being said at the same time. And that's kind of funny when you say that, when you bring it up like that, because that's kind of how you're looking at the universe. You look at the universe as when you're unalive, right? You're living that one life, but everybody else is talking. Can you really decipher what's going on? That's what humanity is. It's a confusion. It's confusion because there's so much of that energy coming out. You're trying to decipher which one's which. Or is this an alien? Is this a ghost? Is this an image of a deceased one? Is it an echo from another universe? And it's all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like that.
That makes a lot of sense. It really does. And I've got ADHD, so my brain just doesn't stop either. So it makes it 10 times worse for me. And BPD as well, borderline personality disorder. So I'm a bag of goodies.
Well, we all are. Anybody else want to add to that?
Well, I had somebody texting me, so I don't know what the question was. Sorry.
Wasn't really a question, dear. It was, she was making her statement about her. She told a story about how she seen something and she thought it was a ghost, and and I told her that it could be an echo from another universe, that it could be a ghost, it could be even an alien being. It's on how you perceive it and how you come in, because it's kind of like the live, when a bunch of us energy come up into this box in the live and you're all talking at the same time, no one can hear anything. And that's kind of what's going on Earth right now. Everybody's shouting this and that, but you really can't hear the truth because it's overridden by everybody else's truth. If that makes any sense.
It really does make a lot of sense. Like when you put it that way, it blows your mind, yeah. And I kind of think maybe because I am opening myself up to stuff I've never opened myself up to, that it might have drawn something in, maybe.
Well, when you do that, you want to make sure you're drawing the positive, not the negative. And when you draw the negative, just kick that shit to the curb and don't fear anything. Everybody's, oh, what happens if I go to sleep and I astral travel? I'll never get back and I'll be taken over and a demon will rule my body. Only if you let it. Only if you let it. If you
Then what
let
does
it
I, why am I
happen,
here?
we're all here for a reason. Everybody serves a purpose,
It's a
even if
joke.
it's good or bad. I know.
So what are your thoughts on the Astra? Have you
The
seen
what?
the Astra Sherman? Astra, ASHTRA, Galactic Messages on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, I'm lost on that one.
I've only just been
Yeah,
introduced to it.
the Ashtar.
Oh, the Ashtar, not Astra,
Yeah,
like an actual Ashtar. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that talk about that group of beings, and all I'm going to say is because, there seems to be a rift forming because a lot of people keep asking about that, and I keep answering, but there's a certain bunch of other people that believe a certain way, and, they're not gonna, they want to cause a disturbance in that. But as for them, I'm going to say use your discernment. Look into more than just one piece of information, because at the end of the day, we're all here to do light work. Some beings are being deceptive, manipulative, and not telling the whole truth. There's
and you're
certain.
supposed,
channelers and certain people that speak to beings other than me that will say the same thing I'm saying. But again, you have to go what resonates with you with that. Because every time I speak on it, I get bad messages in my inbox about it.
Yeah, people aren't open to seeing what's out there. And I'm at the stage, well, I was brought up Catholic, and I never believed in it because I lost my mum when I was 11 and all of my life. And then I took the path of Islam, and that set me seeing everything on the app and how it really is. It sort of pushed me away, but now I'm sort of in to opening my mind and discovering. And I've got my best friend, and they've been there. They have said that they've sat with Mary with the harp and just sat there and listened while everyone fought for the woman with the harp. So my mind
And
is open to soak up everything as much as I can, to be
right.
honest.
And the thing also that you want to keep in your mind is every race, no matter, and I don't care on this part if they like it or not, every race of beings has a good and a bad side. Not all one being is completely of the light, and not all beings are completely of dark. They want to twist and contort things when it's not really true. The true fact is our balance. Because, like you and like we're going on this planet right now, if we didn't have the bad in our lives, we would never know how to be good. And then the people that were bad, if they didn't see the good, they would have never came to the light. You know what I'm saying? There's a balance here, and so it is here, so it is above. Isn't that funny that somebody in the Bible said it? As it is below, as it is above, and as it is above, as it is below. It's the same. You've got to look at it as the same thing. And not everything we need to know is in the universe. We have it all here on the planet. You have to use your discernment, and we're all here. There's always a balance between the good and the evil. There's
I
always
find with the
a
balance, yes.
balance.
I find the purpose is to enjoy while you're here and bring others the attention, awareness that is the purpose, is to be happy and enjoy. So all this confusion of being like, hey, we need to do this for duality purpose. Why? Why not? You get shunned away. Like me, prime example. When people want me to join them, they want to use what it is me that is what they find the power that they want to use. They find that within me. So they be friendly with me. That's how it was locally here in the last year. But this is how it is for me, specifically who I am. I'm here
Right.
to help open up everybody and say, hey, life sucks, but still be happy. It's okay. You're here. You're a human. That's the whole point. You're happy because you're a human. You got to this level, to this godhood.
Yeah, I mean,
What was that?
we're all spiritual beings living in a human experience. And it's like I've always said, I've had a spirit, an entity with me for 45 years, and everybody calls them bad. Not once did this entity ever give me any bad advice, ever say
Pink
anything negative.
delicious.
But I
I've got one of my
hear
girlfriends.
everybody, oh, how cute. And
Pink,
I
jump
hear
in the
everybody
box.
talk, I hear everybody talk bad about them. I hear everybody talk bad about them, and I feel sad about that because, you know, she's a very loving light, and everybody bashes her race. And it's like,
Because everybody gives that whole factor because it's always it's a label. It's a label. That's why. But I'm learning that of
yes,
course there's not all humans are good. Not all humans prefer to have a different agenda. Everyone has an agenda. I don't care what you call it. It's an agenda. Agenda to be moving on for everyone. Everyone is one. Everyone doing great. We want coffee. There's coffee in my hand. I got so bam. There's things come. That's the type of future, or you want to be the other way, or in another direction.
Right.
True, but there's the agenda. But ours is the hey, everyone's cool. Everyone the unity thing. That's what we're all here for. To show that there's nothing that someone else is telling you, but what you feel inside from your heart, that's telling you something different that you should actually listen to the other people. We're not telling you that at all. Whatever it is like, well, exactly, discernment, great time for it. And that's what all this is about. What floats with you? If you ride with people who are talking about Satanism, okay, that's that's what you want to learn. You want to learn the 4D construct from a 3D mindset. That's what you want to do. Go ahead. There's other people who's
Okay,
moved
you
on
see
beyond
this
that.
individual here? This is just a kind of an AI representation of her. The closest I could come to AI. Does it look like this person does evil things? No.
No,
She's
people
very-
would say seen as deceiving. The opposition people would say.
And she's a draconian, and she's very loving, she's very healing. She talks to people on the live, and she talks to them, as an equal. There's no hierarchies, there's no, I'm in charge of you, or I'm this, or I'm that. She goes, I am here to help you. I've not once heard her say, I'm a draconian princess, and I gave up my throne to help you. You don't ever hear her say that. No, she says,
Yeah, that's
I'm
more
here to help you
humanistic.
all.
Right. It's
Exactly.
egotistical. These beings that this guy's channeling, they're not have no reason why they come down here just to freaking help. They could do other things, but but they're here to help us now in this time period. We are here
Yeah.
to experience this life unfold to what it was because we came from that old world mindset and we're at the transitioning right now. We're all in the transition. So either way, you're already gone. You're already where you're supposed to be at. So you're going to follow through for that. And then when the new kids coming up, you're raising them. And then your kids are raising them. It's just how it is. It's just, these are things that I'm always pondering and wondering, philosophical wise in life. So it comes down to it doesn't matter if I'm gone right now. If I just, something happened, a bus came through my apartment or whatever. I don't know, just something weird, fire happened. It doesn't matter if I'm gone or here. It doesn't matter because there'll be another version of me somewhere to continue on the same thing.
So this
didn't know
line,
that.
does it mean anything to you guys? What read do you get on it? You will not leave this place. You will never leave this place.
You do. It's conscience. You're just tethered here. Your conscious awareness is a human. You're not a human. You're God sharing an experience as a human with other. You, me. We're all looking at each other. We're hearing a voice, but it is the spirit that is God. It's all the energy, the same thing. What is God? Love. We're all here together.
Right.
We want to know. We want to love and share. Me, myself, personally, I'm looking for those who want to like. That's my question. Is I have love. I love myself dearly. But who wants to like me? And that's what I think is another question we all looking for. Because we have love abundantly. It's all around. This cloth in my hand right here that I bought years ago, it loves me. But sometimes it doesn't like me. You guys understand the difference? You got to comprehend the difference.
And I just want
If
to
not-
say
Okay, no,
tonight's
beyond
topic
that,
is
sorry.
about. Hold on, I'll let you continue in a second, because a lot of people were asking questions about what the topic was. The topic is about the lost. How can we help the lost? And if you wouldn't mind hitting the likes and shares, that'd be great. It helps the algorithm. And then thank you for the donations. If you want to continue donating, that's cool. And tonight's topic again is about the lost. How can we save them? How can we show them, not just by words, by our actions? How can we help them to have the perception that we have? How can we guide them from being lost?
by
Because
being the
at the
example.
end of the day, because at the end of the day, everybody's out in that woods and they feel alone and sad. They want somebody to help them. They want to hear that voice inside of them. So what do? They're looking for help. And if we don't help them, we're going to let them be lost? No. We want to be that compass that guides them. We want to be that map that guides them out of that woods of scariness, out of that aloneness, so they can join humanity in that love and compassion that we have. You may continue, sir.
Oh, great, thank you. Apologize about that. Yes, exactly what he was mentioning. And how we're going to do that is be the example. And I grew up not dirt poor. My parents were dirt poor. I grew up middle class poor myself. That doesn't matter. But just how the events of how life happens. If you're a good natured person, things come out for you better. Okay, there's this every 11-year situation that your life changes. Maybe it's 11, maybe it's 7 years. Your life can change dramatically, like according to numerology stuff. And this is what I've been following for some years. I'm like, whoa. And I'm seeing things. And now, seriously, today, my numerology, like for weeks, daily numerology is like, huh? That doesn't seem right. That's not what's going on for me today. When it used to be like that, like the numerology used to be on. So there's telling me proof that I'm transitioning way beyond where I used to be at. So all I've been doing is just being loving. When I see out people, I say hi. I'll pick things up off the ground. Just I get moved to do things. I'm an example. And these are things that you all are to do. You all are as well. Think about how you were an example of being a good-natured being towards another being in some way. This is how we can help those who are lost. Sometimes you're not necessary to go out there. Don't force yourself to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go out there. This is my retreat thing. This is what I'm doing. I'm out there trying to save souls. As some may think you have to do. No, you just do it when you're moved, when the time presents itself. Divine
Right.
timing. Oh, God. I'm hating that. I'm sorry, guys, but I really hate this because it's bothering me. Divine timing. I want everything to hurry up now. That's just what we are as this human. But I've been doing this like forever, and I'm hearing stories, people on TikTok, out here in social media. That's another thing. What we're doing, our ancestors, our guides, ourselves, our higher selves, our extraterrestrial family, God itself. They're all us doing. They're already elevated to that level. They're just helping to coach us along. So we're consciously gaining to that level that we're already there. We just have to visualize it here. I am. That's why people are like, I am a king, or I am this, I am that, or I'm a sorcerer. I was this in the past life, blah, blah, blah. It matters to them because that's where their learning is coming from. They pick it up.
Right.
Like for me, I'm getting information, and now I have to look it up. And then there it is. I get information that I should be receiving from my guides through news. Like just some stupid news clip. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, wow, this happens for me. It always has been. So that's how people are contacting me. So that's just what it is. Be an example. Share your light and how you can. I've just always done that. That's why I've been gifted. Like I feel like I used to feel that I should not be treated as royalty as the way I've been given this life. But I realized it's because all the goodness I have done here and all the bad temptations that you did not go to. It's like there's some dark things that I could have gone through, and I would have been in a bad avenue of life because I've seen where that
And
goes.
you bring up another good point too. I want to bring that up because you did say something that was really good. Besides that, but I did pick up on that one thing, and I thought that was cool that you said that we're all contacted in different ways, but you just don't see it. He gets his by the news. I get mine by my guides. Some might see the signs. We all see and hear differently. We all get messages from spirit, source, and guides. That's what you need to know, because someone says, well, I don't see it. But maybe you hear it, you just don't see. Can you see without your eyes? Can you hear without your ears? Can you speak without your mouth? No. You need them to you need to understand. Even when you can't see, hear, and smell and all that, that you can still decipher by the energy that's within.
Correct. And that's the key point. Filling your central heart chakra space. That's when it's fired up, like it's been doing for me lately, or for a couple of
Right.
months. But that's how you know you're telling whatever it is the truth. What is the truth for you is what matters. Because of what he mentioned earlier, the multidimensional thing. You're like, dude, this happened. This is nuts, dude. I'm not talking about just the dualist, like, okay, this is one world and all this is another. I know what you mean. The multi, like, what the heck is going on with people? I'm hearing things about weird things that happen. I'm not talking about just social media. I'm just saying weird things, and like, this is just weird. Like, is this really what I'm here for? To see all this craziness? Okay, I'm cool. At least I'm right on the right side. That's how I'm taking it. So I was like, yeah, it's been good for me.
Anybody else? Everybody have gone quiet?
Maybe it's one of those times that we play some music and just relaxed. Maybe that's one of those times. I don't know. A nice incorporation, huh?
Well, maybe at times we need to start doing some meditations online.
Yes, that will definitely help bring in more people who are, for some reason, hurting. And then they're like, oh, now I feel better. It's how it was once. But it's like, well,
You know,
those are the lessons we can bring back in our own ways.
I thought about that actually, of having a night where having someone that knows more about that, about how to do a group thing, so we could have that.
Yeah,
I know
you don't remember?
someone that would be really good to come lead a meditation.
Okay,
It's
got
the
you.
best led meditation I've ever been in before. I met her in Alien Teas Live one time. So let me see if it would and I follow her, but I don't know that she follows me, so I'm not sure I can even send her an invitation to your live. I think her
I always felt like, maybe having maybe Yeshua come in here a couple times and do it. Maybe Yaya, because Yaya's spirit is very uplifting.
yeah.
And Yaya would do very good. Hello, honey. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
Hi. Yaya's supposed to be doing a meditation tonight. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're kind of low, muffled a bit.
I know. It's because I have my earphones in. Anyway, yeah, Spiritual and Yaya were planning a meditation to pray for the storm victims.
Well, all I'm gonna say is to that, it might be good to watch how you do that, because um, I had a friend that was posting about that yesterday,
Mhm.
right? You know what they did to her account?
Oh,
They banned it.
why?
I don't know. It was very positive. I had a friend, she put out a positive message about that. She said nothing bad about anybody. She just said God bless them and all that. And they banned her account. Yeah, complete ban. Just for putting out a video saying, God bless those that had this storm happen.
Who got banned?
I can't say. It was a person I know. She said something positive, very positive, and said, let the Spirit of God bless them as they went through the troubles of the storm that had happened.
Wow.
And I got banned for that. There was nothing negative in there. It was all completely positive. I even looked at the post. It was very beautiful and very enlightening. I was inspired by it actually. I really thought it was a cool message. There was nothing in there that was bad, but they banned her.
They banned her account completely?
Yep. Yep. They've been doing that. Tonight, when I went to log on to invite people, do you know how many people got banned last night?
How many?
Uh, all the way down now, I went through my list and I had taken off all the people the other day because I know when people come in or the people that don't, associate with me. So I kind of, adjust my list, right? Because I always need room. And I know I took them all off my list. And so today I went into my inbox and all I could see was white. Like all the accounts, and I clicked on almost every single one of them. It said account ban, account ban, account ban.
Wow.
Yeah, I've
I've
seen a few, but not.
I've had about 50 in a row, and they're all spiritual people. I don't talk to anybody bad. They're all spiritual people, and there's about 50 right down the line.
I'm wondering if it's like it is what we're seeing from this side, but I've always wondered if it's really God is like, okay, these are the ones that need to be deleted out of your life. These are the ones that you need to come into your life. So this is what's just going to happen. That's what I'm saying, divine timing. Like there's things that I want to have happen, but I can't do it because I'm just human. I got to play this puppet too. That's what I feel. I feel like this. It's like this sucks, but that's what I think it might be. Like it's just meant to happen.
I mean, because there were a lot of spiritual people, and I was helping them, and I know who some of them are. I've seen them, and I text and I messaged them, but nope, they're completely gone.
And that's why it was important to get people's information outside of this because of that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm learning that it makes sense why we had to be taught that. Because we here are the first ones to do all this session like this because of what we learned then. So there's something there.
Because right now, I was at starting yesterday. Well, before yesterday happened, I was at 7,988, something like that. I'm down. I've lost over 100 and so many people within 2 days.
Well, we
It
know
could be
what
like fake accounts.
we know where some
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
but a lot I counted at least 50 were banned.
Wow.
I'm like, what the heck?
But that's a lot. That's a lot for them to dump like that. Man.
I had a couple of restrictions, and they were flashing and saying I was going to be banned if I got one more restriction. And I went and looked at them, and I'm like, I can't even tell which bit because they took the videos down. And I said, if you don't leave the videos up for me to look at, how can I have a defense? Because I don't even know what video you did.
Yeah.
Problem. And I said, if you're saying that what they said was I was posting misinformation. And if you're saying that I reposted information, and you're saying it's misinformation, I can't dispute it because I can't see the video. And I'm not ever going to repost something that I don't feel is completely true. They took them both off. So I don't know.
Right? And
I
like
have a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, honey sounds a little muffled, but yeah, when it comes to, I make videos, and see, I make my videos, and I think Cal knows that when I make my videos, it takes me out and a few other people. I make these videos, I go through different sites, and it costs me money to make these things too. And I spend a lot of time with these videos. I try to make them different, and I add some stuff to it. I enhance this, lower this, put this, do this, kind of, you know what I'm talking about. And I post a video. And then when I go to post a video, I get it is not eligible for it's against community guidelines, and it won't be on the FYP page. And I'm like, dude, seriously? Once they said it was conspiracy when it was just a picture of a flying um, ship. There was one where I said one sentence and they wouldn't post. They said, it breaks community guidelines when I said, peace be with you. That was the only thing in there, and it was like background scenery. I'm like, really? So kind of stuff like that, it gets annoying, but I have to go through and try to figure out and re-edit. I mean, I've had to scrap hundreds of videos because I keep getting it. Oh, it's not good enough here. Or this is being said, or that's being said, when it's really not. But again, I take it as a grain of salt. I take it as a grain of salt, and I just figure, well, maybe let me change it. Maybe let me fix it and adjust it to a different way. So I don't, and that's what I do. I don't let it bother me too much because it would bring me into a negative zone, and I don't want to be in that. So I was like, well, all right, I'll just try it differently.
Okay, so are you anticipating the negative because of that experience? It's just okay. The next video is the same. So, well, if it isn't, cool. If it is, are you kind of like doing that?
No, when I
Like
make my
expecting-
videos, no, it comes
Just-
random.
I'm trying to figure out, what is God telling me? If that was happening to me, what is God telling me? If this is just always happening to me, what am I not figuring out yet? So that's what it comes to me to right now. I was like, well, what am I missing? Is it the way the message? Is it just me, my own energy that I'm giving off? It seems to be negative because it's like, well, I don't care, or maybe it's just I'm expecting the negativity, or do I have to
Or
prove? What is it? Could it be, or could it be just
or it
something
could be just
influencing
them,
negative?
or it could be them just don't want to hear the message at all.
That too is like, is it that? These are the things I'm always looking at. Like, what is the answer? And it comes down to there is no right answer. Just go with it. What? That doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
It just doesn't. Yeah.
And I used Honey's favorite word. It's all about discernment.
Well, it does kind of piss you off though when you see videos that come across your FYP and they're horrendous.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? You just gave me a warning on something like spiritual something, and then you let these people spew out all this crazy conspiracy hate stuff.
And I'll go back to that one thing. And yeah, it does. At that one time, it did make me really mad. I threw my damn phone across the room because I was mad because I spent 4 hours making a video one time, right? They would not let it go on no matter what I did. So I gave up. I said, you know what? Let me get in that space.
Yeah,
Let me go
I'm
around.
pissed too.
I was like, that got me mad. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just, let it go and see let me just scroll through TikTok. As I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'm seeing this woman on a live talking about her and her pets. And there's 4K people in the room throwing her money, and they're allowing her to go on and talk about what she's doing, which are probably against the law of God himself, completely what she was doing on the live, mind you. and this is going on. I'm like, so I can't boast. I cannot post a religion, a spiritual to help empower somebody, but somebody can be on here doing some nasty, disgusting things that sins against not just humanity, but the creation of God. She's allowed to be on here on TikTok doing that and not be banned from that? What in the world is going on? That's
the flip
what
side
made
of the
me
world.
angry.
Yeah, yeah,
That
I would if
is
I
what
witnessed that
made me
stuff.
angry.
So what I've been told when that stuff comes up, what I'm feeling too, it's just okay. That's why it doesn't happen to me like that. Too. I mean, I'm not on live. I post videos. I don't get too much trouble for that, but I'm not doing it like having a purpose like you're doing, I guess. But when that stuff did happen to me, I was told, and then my guy or myself told me, "Hey, just be like, ignore it, just let it go.
Yeah.
Act like it doesn't matter." And then what happens? It works. I'm like, what? It works like that. Like this, you got to think about that with everything that's in your way. Just okay, it's not really in your way. Just like, really, it's where you see it. Oh, it's not there. Are you sure? Nah.
And
Okay.
the only-
And then you walk
and
through
the-
it wasn't there. Oh my God, you're excited about it. That's how I would.
And
do
the
it. That's
message
just how
I
it works.
got, the message I got from that was, no matter how good I put the message out, people are still going to do whatever they're doing, even if it's sinful
Yep.
against humanity and God and the animals around them.
Therefore,
I'm
the
just
people that are meant to
blown
come to
away.
you do come. I know it's. I know it seems, and they do stuff with animals like that weird. But I'm just saying, yeah, they're getting a lot of view because they're entertaining other people, and so while they're doing it for that purpose. So they're getting, but their value isn't really that valuable. Those who
Yeah.
are listening,
Do you
the
remember
smaller
who it
crowds are
was,
valuable.
Graham? Sunday night that was talking when Bugsy was up here. Who was it that said that she lives over there, North Carolina, Georgia area, and everybody around her was affected by the storm but her?
Yeah, that was
I don't know,
I don't
because that
remember her
person
name, but
blocked
yeah.
me.
Weird.
That woman
Wow, that's weird.
that woman that came up here and was talking to us about living in that area and none of her property was affected by the storm.
Oh no, the other one. Oh, that was that's oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, the other woman blocked me. That came up and she was in that area. I don't know who she was. I don't remember. I think it was I know who you're talking about, but the other one was Susan Murphy, I think. I helped her too on the live that day.
Uh-huh.
But she blocked me because I guess of that whole thing that other night, but whatever. But no, the other one, she's having trouble getting on right now.
Oh, but I was just trying to remember her name. And,
Yeah, she changed it.
And then the message that she was giving was that,
Yeah.
She was just living in a whole nother reality from everybody around her.
Yeah.
And that's true because that's exactly what happened when, what was this, back in June I think it was, when that storm happened in Arkansas. 2 cars should have had been smashed. Like this one, the neighbors had 8 tornadoes that landed in Rogers, Arkansas. 8 tornadoes. 8! 8.
Wow.
Let me get it? 8 infinity. But I'm just saying. 8 of them landed. And the neighbors got all tore up, but my brothers and his house not touched. The cars in their parking lot and on the street that they owned, not touched. My sister, same kind of situation. And we've had this happen in our life all the time, though. So I was like, well, it's because we never left God. We never like, oh, God forsake us. That's the whole point. We have love. That's all it is. You know that you're one with God and you'll be fine. And it's kind of like a Christian ideal, but it happens. It's what it is. Nothing.
I just
Nothing.
thought that was
You live in
really
another
cool.
dimension. Yeah, you're right.
It was a really cool story that she told that, she said they had all
Okay,
the,
I'll be back in a minute. But honey, you're in charge.
you're going to leave me in charge?
Yeah, I have to do something real
He'll
fast.
be right back.
I don't know how much in charge y'all want me to be. I just got back from my grandson's choir concert.
Oh, that must be nice hearing choir.
It was crowded. There were a bunch of kids there.
Oh yeah, it was really loud. Was it outside or inside?
No, it was inside, but it's a big
Oh
campus.
man.
And they had a lot of stuff going on. They had volleyball and some other kind of thing, and then the choir concert. And their junior highs are split into two because the kids that age, there's so many kids that age in that school district. So we like walked half a mile just to get inside
Wow.
out of the parking lot. It was so cool.
Wow, that's a large area then.
We went to
You say
Hayden
parking lot
last
is right-
night. He's in high school, and there wasn't hardly anybody there. That was really weird. So we were talking about it. The area that they live in is kind of like a little suburb of our town. I think it's just the demographic. The people that buy houses in that area are barely old enough to have anybody in high school. So most of their kids are in middle school and elementary.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. Like, how can we get people to not be suffering because they're thinking money is an object, money is a thing to do? How can we get people out of that mindset? What can we do? I was just thinking about that. I don't know yet. I just had a
Well, you
question.
can't, Mac. I mean, people are gonna wake up at the time they're supposed to, when they do, and how they do, and we just try to be positive and talk about it like we do
And that-
on our
And
lives.
that's why I think
If they come
the
through
number
and
of
they
our
hear
lives is
us,
so small because it doesn't matter. It's like it's for select people, and I've been looking at other people's lives in the past couple of months, and they're like the same thing. They're not talking spiritual. They're just there, and they're on there every day, but they're not getting the people. And when it came down to that message, for me, is the same thing. Is the fact that hey, you'll get those, or you're meant to come by. It doesn't matter. You live in your own bubble. We all do. That's the thing. We're all own little dimensional God. But it's like, so knowing that, that's why this type of thing is a thing. This communication base is a thing because of that. But it's like, well, instead of people who are living in a village type, what humanity could be in the spiritual realm, in a village, community-wise, 100, 2,000 people, then they have their leaders, but they're based upon the community itself and protection of themselves. They're not expanded. But if everybody don't have that mindset, because everybody is all about free, give me everything for me not to give out. We're lazy. That's how we became. That's what I find. So it's like, how can we keep the idea of laziness but actually wanting to help each other out? Not just, I got money to pay $60 for my family at a dinner out at a restaurant when there's some female or some dude on the corner who's homeless, but I don't care about him because it's not my concern. How do we get that mindset out of people? And you're saying it doesn't matter too much.
well, I hear you, Mac, but people are just going to hear the message when they're ready to hear it.
Yes.
Yes, it's true. So like again, it doesn't matter. Just continue to do what we're all doing, and things will get out. And this is what I've been told lately too. Well, last month or the month before, for me, slow down, stop rushing. That's all I've ever done. I want everything to hurry up. With this whole idea of this 3 years, yeah, it's gonna happen in 3 years, and then after that, the extra what's gonna happen? People are projecting stuff next total of 20 till 2050 still, but like, what is it gonna come out to be like? Where do you want to be at? And tomorrow, next day, I just saw some message on YouTube about Year of the Witch Snake, 2024 in February. You're expecting this equinox or some type of festival, and I'm like, okay, is this talking about? It was talking about for next year. Because the person talks about 2024 year a lot, But if you talk about the wood snake, that has to be for next year. And I think this person does channel too. I am the universe or something like that. Some channel or somebody who over on YouTube.
Do you know what I'm waiting on?
What?
I'm waiting on because I've had this premonition for 40 years that I've seen a picture of something on a newspaper. I'm waiting to see that because if I see it, oh my, I want to know it's confirmed because that for 40, almost 45 years, I've had this premonition that sometime within November or December, mostly November, I'm pretty sure it's November, that there is going to be on a USA Today paper, there's somebody that's going to be on the front of the paper waving with their right hand, and it said 2024 on it. That person is the one that caused a lot of the trouble, and we have to look out for that person because they're going to lead us into a worse problem that we already have.
You're not talking about the Trump thing, are you? Seriously,
I
I'm
don't-
asking you, are you?
No, I don't
No?
know.
Okay.
I don't know who it is.
Oh.
I don't know who it is.
Oh.
I've never known who it is. Like I said, it's a USA Today paper. The headline has the person up there. The person's waving with their right hand. I can't tell if it's a man or a woman or even an alien at this point. But there is a long word. It looks like two numbers. And then it says 2024. And I've seen that paper for 40 something years. So and if I see that, I'm going to go, yes, I was right. But sadly, I'm right. You know what I'm saying?
Don't you think we're changing the timeline though, Brent?
Yeah, we are. I know we are.
Yeah, we are changing the timeline, but however, some things cannot be changed.
Yes, those
Some
are the,
things
the,
we
the,
have
the
to go
points. Right, yes.
So we can change the timeline, but in how we impact it. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta happen regardless, but if we raise our vibration, we could alter and change how it happens and how much it happens. But at the end of the day,
Right.
that it still remains. Kind of like, remember how in those time movies, the person kept going back and it kept getting the same outcome. I can't remember the name of the movie. But anyway, it was the same outcome.
One of them, but I'm for that.
He went back and tried to change everything, but it happened regardless. And he went back hundreds and thousands of times, but it always came out the same. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're going down multi paths, but eventually it's going to take you to the same part. But how we lessen it, we can make it better or we can make it worse. If you're doing nothing, of course it's going to be the worst it is. But if you raise your vibration high enough, then when it actually comes to pass, you're going to be like, well, it ain't that bad.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of get it.
That's why it's important for each of us who are interested in this stuff to pick it up and like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. All right. And it's about self. And then it's always been about self, man. I'm telling you, this is how I know I'm God. Like I've been telling people for years since I was a kid growing up. This is really what it means. I never understood this stuff. I never knew of this, what we're talking about, what we're into today. But I knew for some reason that I'm God. I don't know how. It makes sense because it's like all the things, the information that I knew, people was trying to always rebuttal me. Go ahead, sorry.
I heard this. It was me. This time. I kept getting this thought in my head, and I don't know where it came from. And I'm like, maybe people would understand it. When people say they don't believe in aliens, they don't believe in ghosts, they don't believe in this, they don't believe in that. I find that kind of ironic because Can you let me ask you a question. Honey,
Yes,
you love your husband, right?
very much.
He loves you, right?
Hmm.
Can you see love? Is it a tangible thing you can touch?
I think that's up to your perception. Can I see the love he has for me? I see it in many ways. The things he does for me, the way he looks at me,
Yeah.
those
Mhm.
kind of. Yeah.
That's possible. But the love itself, can you see it?
No,
Can you touch it?
no,
You can't smell it,
no.
right?
Right.
But love's an emotion. You
It is.
feel
Love
it
is an
inside of you.
expression. The emotion, no. Love is not an emotion. The emotion comes from the human. Love
So,
is an
within
expression
saying
of
that-
life.
So within saying that, so if there's love between you and your husband, you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, but you know it's there. Why can't that be the same for God, an alien, a ghost?
Right. Well,
Makes you wonder, don't it?
the same people who tell you they don't believe in ghosts will tell you that they can't see or hear or feel or touch God, but we have to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah, then what is faith exactly, right? That doesn't make sense.
it depends on
Not by
what you-
their standard.
yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're talking about because, I mean, energy is energy, and energy never dies. It's always present, and like what we were talking about with James the other night, the orbs that we see could be literally anything because they're energy, and they could
Right.
be energy from a past, a past life person or.
Mhm.
One that's still within our realm or that is just visiting our realm. It could be fairies. It could be, any of the fae. It could be energy of a living person who's just is projecting a lot of energy into an area. It can be the energy from the plants and the trees and it's energy.
Yeah.
We could even be sending balls of energy out of ourselves, projecting energy out, which I try to do. It's a practice when you do healing, you're projecting energy from within yourself into another.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing when I learned that that's actually what you do. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like these things, I've always been doing these weird things. And I'm now realizing, you guys, people telling me, oh, this is what it is. Huh? Weird. Okay. And, I was like, wow.
Well, that's the reason I started researching it as young as I did, is because I knew I was doing these things. I just didn't know what I was doing or how. And so I started reading and researching. And back then, in, 78, 79, there wasn't a lot of information about that sort of thing. And so I learned everything I could. And then now, of course, we've progressed with our information and the way we learn our information. And, there's more names
Thank you, River.
to the things
Honey,
that
did you travel other places? Like, for that reasoning?
did I travel to learn those things? No.
Yeah,
I-
like the other.
No, I was very-
I want to go over here that they have this sacred mound there or whatever.
No,
go check
I
it out. No.
No, Mac, I was in my 20s trying to get through school and then had children. I had no money to travel. I just had to read. And back then, you had to go to the library, check out books, bring them home, read them when
What's
you
a book?
weren't yelling.
What's a
You weren't
book?
working. And, and then I think, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was like 84, 85. They actually had a program on television. Maybe it was later than that because I'm trying to remember. I think it was after I started working 12-hour shifts instead of 8-hour shifts. So Lindsay Ann was already born, so that would be 86. They had a television program on in the mornings, and I can't remember the name of it. It came on at 10 o'clock, and they would have all kind of different people on this television program. That's where I was introduced to John Edwards, Sylvia Brown, Ben Prog, all of the mediums, and that's when they started talking about Reiki and healing touch. They didn't call it quantum yet; they called it healing touch, and they were putting departments in hospitals in the West to do specifically Reiki and healing touch is what they called it, because they're a lot more progressive than the rest of the country. So they were putting in departments like with the physical therapy and occupational therapy people, where they could do healing touch and Reiki and things like that to help heal. And that's when I first started learning more about it. But before then, all I had was what I read, and that was different people who had traveled the world to investigate and figure it out. Spontaneous healings, were they a scam? Were they true? And Larry Dawsey, Dr. Larry Dawsey, he's the one that I read about spirit guides. I didn't know what to call the people that were talking to me in my head until I read his books, and he's the one that was talking about spirit guides and the ones that come with different skills, like if you're a healer and you need a physician that has a specialty, then that's the one that shows up, kind of thing. And it was all really far out there back then. People just looked at me like I had 3 heads,
You guys want to hear something
Oh my
funny
God.
today that happened? This is funny. I'll tell you guys today. I don't know why I thought about it, but I'm going to show you something that's funny.
So I was like
I
me,
wore-
myself, and I.
I had a black shirt on today, and I decided to go down to the store, pick me up some soda, and there was a bunch of goth people out in front of the store, and they walked up, and they see me walk by, and I was like this, I go, hello.
That's funny. That's what happened.
No. Oh wait, hold on. And I walked in the store, and one of the two guys and one of the girls were looking at me like, and then I come out and I got my soda and I come out, right, and I go, and the guy goes, "Are you a lichen? Are you a werewolf?" I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "'Cause you look like a werewolf." He goes, "I see a golden wolf right with you," and then talking about this golden wolf. And I'm like, "Golden wolf?" And I know I remember it was one of my spirit guides. They're like, because the way I and a lot of them were like, "Oh my God, he looks like one of them, like one of them guys from the werewolf movies." I'm like, "What?" And it's just like, okay, but I thought that was weird. And then
It's the hair.
yeah, the hair right here and the beard and the way I looked, and I was like this, and they're like, "You look like a werewolf." And I walk by, as I'm walking down the street, this is what made me freeze. One of the goth girl goes, "I don't see the werewolf, but I see the golden dragon."
Oh yeah.
I froze. Halfway down the street, and I could hear it goes, she's like, "I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I see the golden dragon." I about dropped the damn soda out of my hand, and I'm like,
Wow.
I stopped for a moment and I looked back, and I'm like, I'm
That's
gonna keep
cool.
walking. And I was like, what in the world? I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that because that was funny. I was like,
Well,
That
you know,
golden
reminded,
the
wolf.
bell.
that reminded me of the story of those kids back a month and a half ago off by the river here. Way late at night, I was walking. I needed to go out there and do stuff with the moon. On the way back home, I hear one of them go, "Oh, there he is! There he is! Right over there! There he is. What the hell are you talking about? I'm walking. I'm the only one walking." But these young kid skaters said, "Oh, there he is! I hear. There he is! Right there! There he is!" What are you talking about? I'm just walking. Okay, but that reminded me of that.
Well, you know, the veil is thinning, and more people are seeing things, and some people accept what they see and look into it, and other people think they're just seeing things. And then there, of course, there's the people who can't see at all, you know.
It
But
was
the
funny when I
younger
was walking.
the younger
It
people
was fun.
coming in these days can have more spirituality than we can even
That's
imagine.
what I'm saying, right?
Right? Because I was walking down the street and I could hear her arguing all the way down the street. I see a golden dragon. No, he was a golden dragon. And she's describing exactly what Brim looked like. He looks like a Chinese dragon.
Oh
I'm
my
not even
God.
playing with you. I see the wolf. What are you talking? You're crazy. I see a dragon. I see a wolf. I see a dragon.
Remember,
I'm
I
like,
thought you were.
what?
I thought you said it was you. Remember, I thought you were a wolf when I first seen what TikTok is. Really?
I was
Like, wait a minute.
like,
Why
are you
is there a
kidding
wolf
me?
over there? And I thought you were a wolf. You're like, it might have been Brim. He was the Black Mountain, wolf-looking figure. Like, why is that there? Why is Alistair Crowley in the center? You know that situation when I was like that story.
Yeah.
Like, wow. It's like, okay, well, it's because of that. And she's seeing the golden dragon, but then again, wolf idea, and you are supposedly, a lone wolf type too. You take that persona, though. You do not. Do you not take that
Yeah.
idea? Yeah. So there's
Well,
that too.
I am kind of a lone wolf, but like I've said I do have a spirit guide, just a golden wolf, and she always stands on my right side.
Oh, that's new. I didn't
And
know that.
no, I've had that for years. I just haven't really. I've
I didn't
told
know about
certain
her.
people, yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have a golden wolf, and when she said golden wolf, I froze. I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, wait, huh? And then I walked down the street more, and then I heard, no, I seen a golden dragon. I'm like, but that's when I really froze. I'm like, I pondered for a moment. I'm like, huh, interesting.
Those are moments that's worth being here now. Those are the captured
Well,
memories.
walking
That's
into
awesome.
that auditorium full of kids tonight was almost overwhelming to me. Feeling all the energy
Uh,
that
yeah.
Oh no, all the
so
excitement there.
crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so crowded. We ended up sitting back further behind rows and rows and rows of kids. 11 to 14, and there was just so much energy. You could see it and feel
Yeah.
it. I mean, I was really almost overwhelmed. I had to close my eyes a few times, and you could see the way the lights were just kind of shimmering, and it was weird.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I didn't know what you meant. I was going to ask you, what did you mean by seeing the light off them? And you're talking about the light glaring off the court. Those lights, and it looked like
No,
a
no,
bluish,
I just mean
yellowish.
the lights in the auditorium looked almost sunflowery. They were so spread out, and the light, the energy bouncing off those kids was just filled that entire auditorium, and it was a pretty good sized place.
I can see that off of everybody because it's their energy, and it's like a weird bluish yellow green tint, like it's a wave. I thought it was a light. I always thought it was light. That's all it was, just the light reflecting off
That's
of
who
them.
your guide is, the
And
Holy Ghost.
the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Ghost is everybody's guide. I mean, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that would be considered God consciousness, right? Like God itself.
Well,
And
I
that's
did
what
see
conscious
something
level?
one night, one day, and I don't know how to explain it, maybe Honey, maybe somebody down here will know because I honestly don't know. This has been on my mind for a while. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, I went to a store, right? And there was you know how like they take children to the store in school, and you get to like the teachers are there and they're in the line and all that stuff. I noticed something that I didn't notice with anybody else. It was just generally around them that I could see movement like oh, how do I even word it?
It's
It
like
looked like
waving. It looks
it was
wavy.
it was a clear wave,
Yeah.
but there was sparkles in it.
Right. That's what I saw
Like
tonight.
something like it was like somebody had like you know like when people do sound waves to show sound waves, they make that little picture of the sound waves.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looked like a wave of ripples with twisting and turning glitter.
Yeah. Like somebody just threw glitter up in the air. It's
And
kind
I
of,
was looking at that and I was like, oh my God, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And within that clear light of that whatever that distortion was above them, you could see like twisting and turning of energies, and you could see red and blue and purple. It kind of looked like a universe that was above their head, and it was like really pretty and beautiful. It was like, holy crap!
yeah.
And
We saw
everybody else
something on
on.
our way home too that we were arguing about because we took a back road home and through the country, and there was a thing in the sky, and it really looked like an oval of lights. And I asked him, I said, "What is that?" And he looked at it. And he said, "That's an airplane. You can see the outline of the airplane." And I said, "It doesn't look like an airplane to me. And it's not moving like an airplane." "Oh yeah, it's an airplane because we're right here by the base." And I said, "Well, how come it's still there in the same place? It's not moving." And so he's trying to drive and look at it and trying to drive and look at it. And then he looks at me and he says, "I don't know what that is." But it wasn't flying like an airplane. Like you see an airplane move through the sky. This just kind of stayed there and moved along with us. And it was a big oval of lights, of like yellow and that clear halogen color. It almost has a blue tint to it. It was really bizarre, and I know he was a little confused, but I mean, he doesn't want to talk about that kind of stuff, so we didn't.
What do you
Now,
think about
recently,
that, Trina?
was that recently, honey?
That was on the way home tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just saw it. It looks similar
What
to the thing that hangs out over our house.
What do you think about that, Trina and Julie?
I actually, because it's recent, I checked in with the blue color because I have an experience with some blue beings that are working with the GOV. But no, I wouldn't be worried about it at all, actually.
Yeah. It kind of looks like the thing that hangs out over the house.
Mm-hmm. Like everywhere I go, I see different ships, and from what I understand, it's like a grid around the planet. And
Yeah.
then there's other ones that, sometimes they'll, if we can communicate with them. I've had them move, just completely blink out, but I see them everywhere I go pretty much. Like I would be worried if I didn't see them actually.
I was just checking to see if he saw it and what he thought it was, because of course he thinks I'm crazy. So, but he saw it, and then he kept trying to convince me it was a plane, but I don't think he convinced himself it was a
Right.
plane.
Well, he was driving. That's kind of difficult trying to look at something and concentrate on the road. I can imagine what that would be like.
Well, he was trying to convince me that it was moving, and it wasn't moving like a
It
plane.
does remind me of those videos that somebody seen like opposite side of the highway, the road, like they look opposite, they look the same in different direction, or planes or things getting stuck in the air. Like it's just like these are old videos from a few years back. That's why I'm thinking it might have been some type of weird warp thing, that an anomaly that happened. But you're saying it was different oval lighting, so you're seeing something where your husband's viewpoint was different. That's another thing there too. Different frequencies, so like everybody's not on the same frequency. That is kind of cool, but then it's kind of sucky because it's like, wait, I want you to see what I'm seeing too. And like, okay, how do you
Right.
do that? Well, you got to line. Let me go like this. Oh, okay. Well, now you got to see what I'm looking. No, I don't want to see that one. It's like that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I don't know how many years ago it's been, over 3 years probably. I used to live sometimes on Forbes Field in Kansas, and I'd be driving down Topeka Boulevard, and there'd just be a plane just stuck in the air, sitting there, that should drop out of the sky. It was big enough, and it's just hanging there. And I'm like, "Are you seeing this?" And he saw it too, and we were both just like, "What in the hell?" Like nobody else saw it or was stopped or anything. We're just like, okay, and just went back home. But like for both of us to see the same thing, that was interesting. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not insane.
Does he
The
believe in
stories of people happening like that.
What was your question?
Does he believe in that kind of thing?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
He actually
That would help
isn't
out. Yeah.
on planet anymore.
Mm.
Coming up on 2 years, but yeah, we would go outside because he didn't believe me. He was like, "You were nuts." And I said, "I'm telling you, look, do you see any other stars? And you think that's a star. I'm like, it's not a star." And I got out my binos and he looked. He's like, "Oh, I see." I'm like, "Primary colors flashing?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Uh-huh." I'm like, "Yeah, now if you look around with the binos, you'll see a bunch of them." And I started pointing them out to him. He was like, "How do you know where they are?" I'm like, I'm pointing where it feels like I should be pointing, like right here, over here. Sometimes they'd be like right above us. And we were really close, maybe half a mile away from the air traffic control tower.
And I forgot, what was it that you pointed out again? Yeah, I got sidetracked with the music or something. I was like, well, who are you pointing out? To your husband?
I think it's me, and I'm going to drop down and come back because my phone is like hung between two lives. So I'm going to drop down real quick,
Maybe
and then
you're hung between two realities.
you know that. Okay, hang on.
Hello, Faye. Welcome.
Hello, Trina 2 and Faye. Yeah, two new people I can say hi to.
I miss seeing my beautiful hand showing up there. I love that manifesting thing. Oh my gosh, I love that little gift that showed that little like what do they call it, a gift with the manifesting hands. I love seeing that thing. That thing's awesome. Oh, you didn't mean to come up? Oh, there it is! Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh,
I was
gosh,
gonna
that's
say,
amazing.
look at what are you talking about? Then I
Oh,
see
I love
it.
that thing. I love that thing. It is so freaking awesome. That makes me so happy seeing that. I really love that thing. I do. It is so freaking
Then
cool.
you should add it eventually to like one of your main ones you're looking for. I don't know how
I
expensive it
should.
is either. So
I don't know how much it is. I never really pay attention. I just see it. I love it. I love seeing that thing. It's so freaking awesome. That's like the coolest one I've seen that I've ever gotten was that one, but I got the Galaxy too, but the Galaxy's cool, but that one's better.
man, that lion one, that thing is so expensive. It's like $100 something. Like that's ridiculous.
Dude, somebody the other day, I don't know who it was, they gave me something. It was on my live, and it looked the whole ground changed, and it looked like a fantasy world, and it was like stars, and I don't know what in the hell it was, but that thing was cool as crap, and I was like, huh? I don't know who did it or where it came from, but that was cool. I think it was more than a galaxy, cause whatever it was, I've never seen that one. It was like the whole bottom of the screen looked like a fantasy world, and it looked like there was clouds and stars, and I don't know. It was really cool. It looked like another world or something. I don't know. That was beautiful though. I don't know if it was the universe. I don't know, but I was like, "Yo, what in the world was that?" Let me see if I could even look.
They
I
got a
can't look
signature
up.
jet for 1,000 coins. I'm looking at like sheesh.
I don't know. There was the one that was talking about. It was. I swear it was something like a fantasy world. It was like what I have seen the whale, but somebody else on
Oh, that was
somebody
5,000
else's.
off 4,888.
I seen somebody with a giant whale one time. I was like, whoa, that was kind of cool. But no, there was that one that I thought was. I love seeing the hands because it's pretty freaking cool. That makes me so excited every day I see it. Every time I see it, it's like, yee! Makes that little kid in me bust out because it's so cool. But I have seen the Galaxy. I've seen that one. I've seen the Bears. But when it comes to those kind, I think those are the only two I've seen
There's a
besides the
giant sword
electric
for
hands.
1,000.
I've seen the electric hands before. I've seen the manifesting one, which I think is really cool. I've seen the light one a couple times. Um, I've seen the hand one on mine anyway. I see when I want to see the other ones, I just go to somebody that's gifted a lot so I can see what they look like. But that one, even that one I'm talking about, I've never seen that one used either, so I'm not exactly sure what it was. Because I was like, where did that come from? It was blue. It was like bluish, blue and white, and it had a little red in it. I don't know. A Zeus? Oh, yeah, I'd like to see a Zeus too. I don't know. Isn't that Zeus one expensive though? I have seen the line before. I did see the lion once. but not on my page, somebody else's. But anyway, if you wouldn't mind hitting the likes and the shares, that'd be cool. So about the lost, how do you think we can help the lost and take them out of that funk, pull them out of that woods? What kind of things that we could help them come out of that woods, that lost within themselves and they can't find themselves? We want to be the voice of the voiceless. How do we do that?
What about bringing the attention up within our lives here, or something like that? Like bringing that attention so that aura is here, and we're passing along within what we mentioned earlier, doing like a mass meditation thing or group meditation. But it's kind of like that idea of sending that energy out there to those people who are needing it, unknown to us who they may be. That could be a start way.
Yeah. What do you think, honey?
I think the only way we're ever going to be able to do it is just by modeling it and being self-aware when we go out in public, being that light, being conscious of the fact that we're modeling and pushing our light, because our auras are quite large and you can actually manifest it out farther and just kind of touch people as you go by, as you're out and about. And again, just smiling at people oftentimes can change their whole attitude, and you see their faces change when you smile at them. And just modeling that behavior instead of being so intent and within yourself thinking, like when I think, I get a resting bitch face. That's just it. I can't help it. And my eyebrows are down and I'm kind of frowning and I'm thinking, and I don't look very friendly. So I have to always be aware of how my face is resting. That's been something that had to do with my profession and my career that I was made aware of early on in my career, that I needed to be very aware of, that people see you, whether you think they can or not. They see you.
Yeah.
They're watching you and you don't even know it.
Right.
And you're not thinking about them. You're off doing whatever you're doing. But I have been noticing the last, 15, 20 years, that you can change the environment just by walking in. You can push your aura out and have that welcoming energy that people will actually feel and notice. I've had people comment on it,
Yeah, I've done that, and I've felt other people's negative energy pushing against me
Yes.
while having while carrying a conversation with these strange people at a restaurant or an auto place or some other store or some place in line somewhere. Like, wow, like this sucks, and I got to deal with it. So I'm like, okay, this is like a test for me to go, okay, how are you going to respond? Are you going to react how you used to? But these things are like, so I have to put myself through scenarios here at home to get me to think that way there. And then when they're here, I've been catching myself, oh, I responded differently. I didn't react. I'm like, wow, what the hell I'm doing works. That's what it is for me. Like, wow, this stuff, whatever it is I'm doing, it's working, y'all.
So Julie and Kali, do you think the smallest acts of kindness? What do you think about that?
Think about what? I'm sorry, it cut out kind of.
Small acts of kindness, does that change anything?
Oh, absolutely. Everything ripples out.
How so?
Here's a good example that I think we've all experienced in traffic. Somebody flips you off, or you want to flip them off, and
I do it. I don't care.
right. Instead of flipping them off, I look at them, try to make eye contact, and give them a thumbs down instead, because that's going to ripple
okay.
out a different energetic frequency than giving them the finger, so that they don't go
That's smart. I give
on
them
and
a fist,
affect
though.
other people with their anger.
No, it's too funny now. I don't get angry. I get funny at it. Like, oh, you know, you shouldn't have did that. I stare at him. I'm like, you know, you shouldn't have did that. Either in front of me or behind me. I stare at him. I'll stare at him and look at no. I shake my head. I'm, you know,
That's what I
that type
do.
of no. I do it like, oh, you
Shake my
asshole. You
head
know.
and say no thanks, no thanks, and just keep smiling.
Yeah, it's like a shame on you. But sometimes I just don't, and I get, "Ugh!" But not too much of that anymore. It just doesn't happen.
The thumbs down is really satisfying.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I like that creativity. That's what we're here for. That's creative. That's it. Like, okay,
Right.
give him a thumbs down. All right.
Boo.
Give him a Caesar.
Right? Like they're like, what? Why didn't you flip me off? I got a thumbs down.
To do the pit with you.
They have to question their whole
That's what
reality
I
with a
thought of.
thumbs down.
I thought about Caesar when you said that.
Or like Red One says, the peace sign. Just shoot on the peace sign and smile,
Right.
like the hippies we are. You know.
I had someone cut me off when I had to drive somewhere and somebody cut me off. You know, I did the funniest thing and they looked at me with the dumbest look. It was the funniest thing. I looked over, they cut me right off, and I got on the side of them, and you know, like they sped by me, you know, kind of flipped me off, and then I caught up to them, and I was only doing the speed limit, and I caught up, and I smiled and waved, and they just looked so mad. It was
Because they
so
couldn't take your
bad.
thunder. And that's what they wanted to do. Well, they may not want to do, but somebody wanted to take your thunder. And you showed them the proof that, not today.
I waved and I drove on by, and like and the whole thing for that is they were speeding to get somewhere, but at the end of the time, I ended up passing them.
That happens.
So it's
Oh,
like-
that was the lesson for them. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Because you can see the person was, they were coming up behind, they were going in with car, past me, and I was like, I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to allow it. So, you know, I was kind of letting no, you're not going to do it because it was getting dangerous the way he was doing it. So I'm like, you know what? No. I'm like, there could be somebody trying to cross the street, and this guy's doing this. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So I kept, you know, doing things to slow him down. So he got mad, flipped me off, and sped down the road. And then I got right up to him at the stoplight, and I gave him that smile look like, was it worth it? Did it really get you anywhere? And I just went on past him. He got stuck way behind me.
It's like you kind of let a setup onto them for their. Oh. I thought it was just something that happened to. It was a lesson for him to learn because I had that happen to other people I seen on the street, like this situation. And someone was just being dangerous, like, dude, what the hell? Like, you were sitting there blocking him or whatever you were doing, so he wouldn't get by because, dude, you're being an idiot. Now, that's different, but I thought it just happened. And like, oh yeah, that's a lesson for them that they needed to figure it out.
It is.
And
It was
they-
a lesson.
And hey, hopefully they figured it out because they looked at you like, you know, was that screw you, you punk ass, or did they really think then, or did they go
It
home and
was a
sit with that
really-
thought?
It was a really aggressive finger. And I just gave him a big smile and go, hi.
My husband
just
actually
looked-
brought that up yesterday. He was saying that he felt so much more relaxed driving now that he's retired, and that he's been noticing how much easier it is. And he said you know, everybody's in a hurry to get everywhere. And he said, I get it. I was that way too. He said, but now I'm retired and I don't have anywhere to be. And I'm just driving.
Right.
And he said, I'm so much more peaceful. Why didn't I learn this sooner?
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
telling it to you. Because he does drive pretty aggressively. It's,
And that was kind of the point where I was like, the point where there was many lessons to learn on that one for him, because no matter how fast you're going, you're still gonna get to that place. And just because you're going fast doesn't mean you're gonna get there at the same spot. And you know, no matter how many people that block you, you're gonna get there eventually. So there's no point of racing down the road like a maniac.
I just
or like on
Grand Theft
the
Auto.
when they have the freeways blocked off and these people that are speeding by you on the left, and you know
Right.
it's going to go down to one lane up there, and it's all bumper to bumper, they're not going to go anywhere, and then you just drive past them when it's your turn to go there because they're sitting there. Nobody's going to let them in because they were being jackasses trying to get there first.
And the funniest part of it is that the lady behind me was laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
She was laughing. I thought she was gonna bust a gut.
I really
Uh,
think that our future, you know, I was listening again to Cryon, and he was saying that he doesn't predict. He never predicts. He says it's free will, things change,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not wise to predict. But he said one thing he does predict and will say that is going to happen is that in the next few years, some very small country somewhere in our planet is going to institute a form of government where there is not a left or a right or a one way or the other way. It's going to be the mediator person that's going to be in charge. And they are going to be there simply to mediate the two different ways of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, either
And-
the progressive or the conservative. The person in actual charge is going to be the one that mediates so that compromise is made no matter what. That
And it's funny.
this very small place, some insignificant country is going to institute this, and the rest of the world is slowly going to start noticing how well it works.
For some reason,
that's why
I'm thinking of
That way.
Tanzania, or whatever that is. I don't know why.
And-
It just came to me.
And that's the reason why I said what I said. Remember when I told you about the future events? I
Yeah.
talked about, everybody asked me, well, does this happen and this happen? I was like, well, I'm not going to give you the future, the here and now. I'm going to give you I'm going to tell you there's something positive that's going to happen. And there will be one world government. However, it's going to be with a council, and it's not going to be no hierarchies or any of that. And that's kind of what he's alluring to now. Because
Yeah.
I remember saying it was going to be like that in the future, that a lot of beings are going to come down here. And we're going to be walking down the streets in them like normal. You're going to see freaking dragons and unicorns and flying around the damn sky and floating islands and this and that. But as for the government, there isn't no government. It's what it is. It's people that represent certain people. They come together in a council and they discuss, how do we better this? How do we do that? They don't impose the laws. Now, if a law was broken, then they would go to this council and this and that. You know, and that's how they do the things. And you know, it's that society in the future. I really hope we do that. And it's funny that Cryon mentions that, because that's exactly kind of what I was saying, not in so many words.
Well,
So
when I,
if it's
when I
already being
heard it,
brought up now, if it's already brought up now, then that means that it's coming faster than it's supposed to.
Well,
Good, 'cause
I
that's what I'm
listened to
saying.
I listened to that this weekend and thought about you when I heard him say it. But it reminds me of that old story about the two people who came before the king because that's how they used to settle their disputes. Was they would bring it before the king and let the king decide who was right or wrong. And so these two guys are arguing and arguing and arguing, and he fined them both. And the guy that was correct, he said, "Why are you fining me? I was right." And he said, "I'm fining you because you spent all this time arguing with a donkey." So, that's a lesson.
Yeah.
Why spend all your time arguing with the donkeys? Just do what you know to be right.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it'll filter down. That's a really old story. I don't remember now where I heard it.
That makes sense. Remind me of that one story of the Mormons would claim that their king, that they whatever their time periods, and did similar thing. He was a counselor. That's when it makes sense. The leaders were the counselor, and just like when it came down to where it was the old crone as the counselor of the tribes. You always went to the old woman of the wisest woman. What do we do? What's going on? We got this warring faction over here that wants to come mess with our land because they want to take our crops. What are we supposed to do? That type of thing. It's like that. We're going back to that, but we're bringing it's like that's the way it is. It's an agreement for what needs to be done for the betterment of now.
Right.
Well, and that's the only reason I would ever be in agreement with going back in time, because right now they're trying to take us back to a time when things were less equal for everyone. And I don't agree with that. But if they were going to go back to things like that I would be in agreement with, to where you had a mediator, somebody who could hear both sides of the story and then come up with a compromise or come up with a solution.
But that's what we do today. It's just like the factor of there are controlling factors who want funding and like cruelty out of that stuff too, so they made a game out of it. That's the problem. We need to get rid of that ideal of their game to what really happens. Like, okay, people need to be justified. And if they don't want to be justified, what do we, that's the question. Like those who don't want to be part of that societal group, we just let them live on their own? Like, okay, I don't know. It's not a question to bring up for that type of questioning. What do we do with those people who just don't want to fit in, but don't want to be bad, but they're vulnerable? Don't want to fit in, but don't want to be bad, but they're vulnerable. Don't want to fit in, but don't want to be bad, but they're vulnerable. Don't want to fit in, don't want to be bad, but they're vulnerable. Should I go away? Something would happen here. Oh, it's honey. Oh no.
That's weird. Why are you laughing like
I know,
that?
that's so funny. We need that. I'm saying that's why I'm here, the comic relief and everything for real. I know.
So
I'm the wise fool, right?
This has been happening a lot in the limes.
Yeah.
Just flow with it. That's what I'm saying. Just flow with it. Like, it's a hindrance. Why should it stop our progress? No matter how it gets there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Anyhow, TikTok's been.
And I think it's about how much effort you want to keep at it. Sometimes it's okay, fine, put it away for now. I just something that it's in my life. I'll just go back to it later. But for now, I gotta put it down.
Right.
It's kind of like one of those things. I think when it gets too excessive, because that's when it tells you when it's too much of something that's not good, right? That's a straight fact right there. You can't just do one way all the time. Just like what he mentioned earlier, that Brent mentioned before, and other people mentioned. It's always a balance. That's what the yogis always teach. It's always centered, keeping centered. And I'm like, when people tell me this, I'm like, dude, I am centered. I'm just more wackier than you want me to be. That's all it is.
Okay, the music's gone now. That was weird.
Oh, you were hearing music? Yeah, I got music playing here on my side.
Oh, that's what I hear then. That's you. Sorry. I was thinking it must be me. I don't know. I'm hearing things.
No, sometimes actually, when you come on live, honestly, when you come on live, sometimes I can hear like music coming from behind you or a voice too.
Behind me.
I'm not the only one that hears that.
I have lots of critters living in my yard here with me.
Mm-hmm.
They're very present and they're very interested. And then when I'm in your live, I can't wear my earbuds because nobody can understand me. So everybody in my yard gets to hear you.
Well, it's all about the energy.
Yeah. And they're all right here. They're all congregated right here under the trees. They're just listening.
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood blonde Bigfoots out there.
Yeah. They're always listening. They're always watching. For sure. And I've been checking my mushroom to see
Hello,
if it's got to
boils and
multiply,
ghouls.
but it hasn't yet. I was thinking how happy I'd be if I came out and found another big mushroom like that.
Yeah, Ivy, she likes mushrooms. She's up in Canada, up in British Columbia. She's just a thing for mushrooms. I don't know what's up with that.
I wonder if you can eat those.
I don't know. She just goes out and takes videos of mushrooms. Like, okay, it's her things that all night. I mean, it's her and some guys. She's not her boyfriend, just some dudes.
Some of those
weird.
mushrooms you can eat. Some of them you can't.
It's like a flower thing, but because you can only see them at night, and where she lives at, there's all around. They're pretty mushrooms. They're pretty things. Like, well, that thing's kind of weird, but it's pretty. But just taking pictures and videos of it, that's her thing.
I had a trippy experience when I lived in the nun house. And I went outside one day.
Did you say nut house or nun house?
A nun house. I lived with with 2 or 3 nuns, but anyway.
Okay.
When I lived with the nuns, I went outside one day. It was nighttime, and I was smoking a cigarette, and I noticed the weirdest thing. I noticed that some of the mushrooms in the backyard were glowing, and I'm like, I kept staring at them, and I wondered why. Why do you think that is?
You're seeing some aura off the shrooms, off of the ground, off of Earth, and something like that, basically.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello.
Don't some mushrooms put off toxins? That's why they're poisonous.
Yeah.
Some mushrooms are poisonous, but most of them aren't.
But he was asking why are they glowing? Like, well, I don't know. Maybe Ivy might actually know the answer to that. But if it's actually not a chemical thing, you actually know if it's spiritual. I'm thinking he's seen some aura off the shroom. It's alive, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like kind of like an LED look. It's kind of like a glow in
Maybe
the
a
dark
holographic
mushroom.
light? Maybe it was a glow in the dark mushroom then.
I gotta tell you, I'm hanging out with Jeff right now, and it's his birthday. Everybody say happy birthday, Jeff!
Hey.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Jeff! Woo woo!
All right, now y'all are coming upstairs with me because I'm cooking dinner.
What you cooking? What you got going?
I got some T-bones. I got some sweet potato, some peas, carrots, and broccoli. And I have a sauce set aside. I made some cupcakes, chocolate with walnuts, and what are those other? What are those other ones? The little white ones, what are they called? Macadamia nuts, and chocolate, Hershey's, and dark chocolate, and gotta search. I gotta find these things.
This is all stuff you're cooking, Megan?
Yeah, I'm cooking. I'm cooking.
Oh, you're like my niece-in-law. She does that a lot, like fresh. Her sister bakes homemade everything, cake, everything. That's what her thing is. Like it's really good stuff too.
I made his birthday cake last year. He was like, "Oh, that's it." Made him have a birthday party because he's like, "No, just go to like a restaurant." I'm like, "No, come on, it's a milestone. Whenever you have milestones, you have to have something." Oh, I have a Jello shots in the fridge. Cool.
Ooh, that sounds
Like at
fun.
least a 12-pack of waters.
Damn, Jello shot, yum.
Because there's wine and beer. And,
I'm glad that people have those experiences because I've never experienced it. I've never had a birthday party or a Christmas party, but I'm
you
really happy
serious?
that never.
Wait, how old are you? How old are you?
51.
Okay, so for like your next big milestone, like 55, 60, you have to get the entire familia together. We have to settle on a state because I don't know where all y'all from, but I'm in the sticks, kind of.
Never once had a birthday party or Christmas party, and then maybe I've gotten one or two presents here and there, but other than that, I've never really celebrated them. Even when I was in a foster home, my foster parents would celebrate the holidays with the other kids, and I'd be pushed in a room.
But
And
was
I
that
got
because you
That's
wanted
messed
to
up.
do that? Was that because
Huh?
like you felt a certain way of it because you never really had it before, and you just isolate yourself from it, or is it because it was just never available to you? Because here's the thing: like I've been to places sometimes where it was the holidays. I had work. I worked every holiday. As people know, like a bartender or any kind of whatever hospitality field there are no holidays. Not really. Like that's the holiday you make your money at.
And
So
I'm a nurse, and I worked almost all the holidays.
right,
the only holiday
right. Oh,
I've ever
especially nurses.
experienced
Are you
is
kidding me? My mom was a nurse. My grandfather was a doctor. Like they, they knew. You
But
just
no, the only holiday I've ever had was Thanksgiving. Even Valentine's Day, I tried to give people like cards and flowers and stuff. I never got anything back, and my birthdays was always the same way.
Well, see, that's
And
the whole
Christmas
thing,
was
though.
worse.
If you're ever expecting to get back what you did, let me tell you from experience, you'll never, ever get back what you've given. It's just a given.
I mean, I'm not even like I don't even expect anything, but it's more like you couldn't even give me a card or even create one yourself.
Yeah, why not, right?
I mean, go out and pick flowers, write a freaking card, make a
Yeah.
freaking card. I don't care if it's a macaroni thing. Geez, something.
Birthdays, yes, but I don't care for celebration because it's every year. Okay, if it was like a 5-year anniversary or 3-year thing, that's something that everybody festival. Not every year
Well,
is this
first off, they have
celebration.
to remember
But a
the
birthday
date,
is
right?
different.
Like,
A
if they remember the date and they actually say something on that date, that's got to mean something.
That is so special. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Even
Like I
like
did
at
my brother's birthday because somebody else's was October 2nd recently.
Aw.
But yeah, never had that.
Well, you
All I've
will,
ever
my
got for-
friend. You will.
All I've ever got for Christmas was a Monopoly
Follow
board.
me. I'll pray for you. Everybody pray for each other.
All I ever got was a Monopoly board.
Hey. That could be
Like,
ours.
really? I've got 10 of these. What do I need another one for?
I need a bottle opener. Where is it? I don't know.
Well, you got plenty to sell now.
You're gonna have to tell us now when your birthday is, so we can all remember.
It was September 7th of this year.
That's right. I forgot that. I forgot. I did tell you
Well,
happy
happy
birthday.
belated
Dear.
birthday, man.
We came on a live together on your birthday.
Happy
Yes.
belated birthday.
You had a birthday celebration this year because we all came
We
on
didn't have.
live on your
What I
birthday.
mean by that is I'd never like have like at a house where we like have a cake and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing I'm
You
talking.
didn't have the traditional experience that most of us have had.
It's like
Yeah.
friends
Sucks.
and, like,
That
you
sucks.
can be cool with.
But yeah, I mean I loved that we came out here and we did that. That was awesome because that kind of helped me. But I've
It's been a
never
while since
experienced someone coming over here. I made a cake. Here it is your birthday party, or
go
someone
to
ever
Chuck E.
set up a
Cheese's,
birthday
okay?
party.
Well, we were very, very poor, but my mother always made sure that she made each of us a birthday cake on our birthday, and she made a really big deal out of it. We didn't always get much, but we always had a big day. So when I had kids and they started having birthdays, I bought a birthday plate, and so whose ever birthday it was got the plate for the party. I still have it. I still have the same plate.
I guess the biggest letdown for me was Christmas because every time we was a Christmas thing, everybody would always get these like. I remember my foster home. I had to go to work and nobody else worked. It was just me. I busted my ass because I wanted to have money. So at Christmas time, they would get cards with money. They would get bicycles, mopeds, cars. I got a freaking Monopoly board. And I'm like, well, I feel like I'm valued here. And they would have all this Christmas dinner, and I would be the last one to eat, and like I was the afterthought, That's what it felt like to me.
It's unfortunate that our child care system is the way it is, and that some kids end up having to experience, even with their own families,
Yeah.
things like that. But I know I'm not invalidating you in any way, but I am saying that the things you went through and made you who you are now, and it made you turn to your gifts.
Right.
And you might not have done that then if you hadn't had the upbringing.
No, he would be Hagrid from Harry Potter.
You think we'd all be living over there in the
Man, I want a castle. That's one thing I want. I would love to live in a castle. A small castle would be good enough. A cottage, but a castle. Yeah, come on. I like brick, but I grew up with brick. But I'm saying a stone building, living in that. The outside.
I think
that'd
I've
be
lived in enough castles in my past life. I don't want to be in a castle no more.
They sound cold. They always
that's why they insulated well.
they all sound cold, and I'm like, I don't like to be cold, ever cold. If you're, well, I don't really ever get too warm. It's never too warm for me, but I often get cold, and then I cannot get warm.
Yeah, you're
If you're too
opposite.
hot, you can cool off, but if you're cold, you just can't ever get warm. I don't think. And I sit right in front of the fireplace, and still.
What about shivering, like shaking or jumping around? That'll get you warmed up.
Yeah. Well, when we had what we call the snowpocalypse here a few years back, when nobody had any electricity in Texas, it was terrible. We were freezing.
Yeah, that was weird.
We were freezing, like wearing 4 or 5 layers of clothes, and I had bought my husband a goofy hat, as a stocking gift. One of those hats you see that have the furry flaps that come down over your ears. And we laughed and laughed when I gave it to him. But guess what? He wore it every day during the snowpocalypse, and he was out chopping wood for other people, to help people get firewood. And
You know what
that
you
was the
do?
warmest dang hat he had ever worn, and he loves it now.
Well, we could have used that hat, when we were out in 200 miles out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm. Yeah.
When the snow won't touch that area, but it's been reported that there's 200 feet of snow in that area all the time. But doesn't that sound like fun, honey?
No.
No, not 200 feet of snow all the time. What are you talking about? Where's this at?
Okay, so there's some guy on TikTok trying to build a castle, and he wants help. I'm not helping him.
Right. Helping over shit. You gotta have money and
How
shit
much?
for that.
How much is to pay?
I don't know. Ask AK. He's the one saying, "Come up here, AK,
I like
and
that.
talk about this guy."
I like the idea of underground area within the foothills. That would be very, very natural. Everything.
Did you see that?
Building
Oh, I seen a
underground.
house one time. Speaking of that, this guy, he had a tree. It was and it headed into a mountain, right? And I don't know if it's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Ooh.
He got on his hands and knees. He crawled through the little hole. There was a giant tree, and it was like the mountain was behind it.
Oh, right.
So what he did is he cut a hole in the tree and made it a round, and the tree was still growing. It was very much alive. He put a little tree door on it so you couldn't see it. So when you close the door, when you open the door, it goes and it leads into the mountain. And when inside the mountain, you stand up, and you could see it's a beautiful, luxurious place. And it's got underground pools, and it's all carved and made out of stone. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I was like, "What the heck?" And it was awesome. Everything was carved by hand. He had the light. The lights though were cool because it was all natural. He said everything in there was natural. And
It takes a
he
lot
had
of work.
yeah, he said that what he did
Are
is he
you sure
rewired
that
it.
tree? Are you sure that tree wasn't hurting? Because that's where the heart is in the center of the tree. When you cut a hole in a tree, you're cutting into its heart.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't feel right living in the heart of a tree. That would, like all those trees in the redwood forest that they cut holes into, just for tourists.
Yeah.
It took forever, and some of them are actually kind of going back, which is amazing that they were able to revive themselves and stay living, and then actually start growing back. But ever since I read that about trees, I just feel a certain kind of way when people put nails in them or cut holes in them, things like that.
Right. Because it's like I said before that you not only evolve, not only do you have a past life as a person, you could also have as an animal and also as a plant. Because
Yeah,
I do remember having a life on the planet as a freaking flower.
I know. You've told that story and it's hilarious. And Yaya was a toad. I will never forget when she told that story, that she was a toad. I don't know how long toads live. Do they live very long?
That depends on where you are.
Well, and I know you as a flower didn't live very long, probably.
In hours.
I was the only flower. I was the one of a kind flower on that planet. There was no other flower like me.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah,
That's why they
different.
took me and planted me in the middle of the town on a waterfall, on a water fountain. And everybody would come to me and they would see the emotions through me. The colors I
Oh,
would
yeah,
emulate.
definitely different. It's not a
And I
heavy
know I was
story.
there for a
Oh,
long time. I was there because I remember this couple came to me, and I seen them when I was on the path, and then I kept seeing different people, and it looked like it was many winters and many summers that I seen. I don't remember exactly how long, but there was a lot of time passed. I don't know.
That's good.
And the only way I was destroyed because there was a war inside that village, and everything was burnt down.
Well, I know that when I finally came to the full realization that I actually believed in reincarnation, I couldn't really reconcile that we were ever anything but people until I started
Yeah.
hearing so many people telling me they remembered being rocks and trees and animals and things. And you can't refute it if this many people have those memories. And then I thought, well, okay, I'll believe it. And then Cryon said it, actually, in one of his videos. And so that was like, okay, if he said it, then it must be true.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I heard about that 4 years ago, maybe, when I started looking into the Ayashadeen information for the Crystal Rivers project. She was mentioning about that stuff too. I guess you guys don't know who that is. Somebody, another seer. I mean, dealing with the Earth grids as well as the star grids of the planet, and keeping them actually balanced and keeping them on our side. That she was part of the big thing about that for her. So she was going around the world and actually resonating or doing her thing with her group and helping the grids be maintained. That's what she was part of. And she was mentioning what Honey was just talking about.
AK says he comes from a family of 9. When we were in Utah, we kept coming across the different places that, the historical markers and stuff. And they would have these little shacks where this one man went through Utah and he just traveled through and built roads up to the place where he was. And then he would move his family further away and then build another road up to where he was. And it's nothing but rocks. I mean, just rocks everywhere. And they were all talking about it. They had preserved these little one-room places. And there would be one thing said, this showed a picture of a man and a woman, and they had like 14 kids they raised in that little one-room thing. And I'm thinking, how, for one, and why, for another? And that's a litter. That is like a litter. When a woman is putting out 14 kids, that's
Like my mom.
that's like a litter, really.
Yeah,
Well, thank
I
you.
have 11 siblings, I think.
I have 14
But-
brothers and sisters.
My word, I just can't even. There were 5 of us, and that was plenty for me.
My mom started when she was in her early. She started, from what my social worker told me, my mom started at 12 years old. She did not stop having kids until she was like 48.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, sheesh. Yeah, just 5 of us, 2 miscarriages, and then I got 2 halves, so a total of 5 though. My own personal family.
Thank you for the gifts. Yeah, my mom
think
was
about
always
that.
producing.
Thinking about that with the situation with, like, that's something I never really got a concept of. Who we really are, it doesn't matter of having a family yourself, but they seem like the promotion. You're supposed to raise kids. And I've always kind of like, why? And now I get why is that? Like why do we not have to? Because of who we really are. Because of this stuff that we're going through now. This is what I'm finding it is. Like, you can choose. I just choose. I've raised kids. So it's like, well, that's not the family. That's not what I consider, I'm a family guy. I can be that. But I prefer not to because I don't want to deal with that. Because I've already done it. So it's like, okay, I just be single. And then it's sad to that point of like that. Is people who want to get together, they want to raise a family. I
So you're
don't care
Peter.
about that.
So you're Peter
I
Griffin.
Peter.
I
What do
just
you
told
mean by
my
that?
girls that they were the reason I had them was so they could do the dishes.
And what do you mean,
Take out
Peter?
the
Come
trash.
on, man. Why you guys? What do you mean? Before I know what you mean, I want to know what do you mean by that, though? Someone Peter. No, I'm asking though.
You just the way you said it reminded me of Peter Griffin.
Oh, then that's what it is. Oh my God. Okay. I have a brother. I am Peter Griffin. Yes. For
You're
real,
gonna find your
like, wow.
quagmire. Okay, okay, honey.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay, that went in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, and AK's right. I mean, when you have that many kids, you end up, with a really tired mom and a dad working all the time, and brothers and sisters raising each other, essentially.
I raised them all.
Yeah, parentifying, I think, is the name they give it now. But that's just
Yeah.
how it was. That's what you did. That's what was expected. And the women were married off young, 12, 13 years old, and that's why you see so many cemeteries with young women and an infant. They were too young to be having children at that age. And the man would be 36 or 7, go out find him a 12-year-old, and when that didn't work, he'd go get another one. And so,
I've had a past life, and I have yet to figure it out. I had a past life of me being in the Old West, being a gunslinger. I have no idea who I am, but I know it's on the wanted poster.
Were you Doc Holliday or something?
I don't know. I have no idea. I remember the hat. I remember the outfit. And I remember the horse. And I remember being wanted because I used to rob banks.
That does sound like somebody I know who was Billy the Kid.
I think my husband was a cowboy. He reads all those cowboy books, those Louis L'Amours, and he made me grow chicories so he could make chicory coffee, and
Twins, really? Wow.
that was crazy.
I don't know if it was Billy the Kid, it may be, but I think it might be someone maybe around him, or maybe even him, I don't know, but I do
I
remember
got
I
family
was shut down
ties to a
young.
marriage. Okay.
I remember being shut down when I was young and I was shooting with both hands.
That sound like him. It does sound like him. Especially, do you know what your face looked like? He wasn't. It was
Billy the Kid was shot in the back by his friend, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or his brother-in-law
Yeah, I think it
or
was.
somebody.
But with the actual photos, the way you look, he's not that pretty looking of a guy. He's okay looking. He got a big old nose, kind of scruffy looking dude. But I don't know how that looked like a kid. But I got relations from my mom's side of the
Oh, no.
family because I'm a Torres. That's my mom's side, Mexican Torres. I got Pancho Villa in the family, but it's members who were in a gang in that Pancho Villa clique back in that time period. I got people with that. And I actually am Presley family bloodline as well, with my mom's side of the family and her mom's side. I don't know if it's actually the King Presley, but it's the Presley family. That's what I'm aware of. That's actually documented.
I also have one where I'm pretty sure I was in the Civil War.
Hmm. That was a sad time.
Yeah. And I think I was mowed down in Virginia. That's why I don't like it here. That's what I think happened. I think I was a northern soldier and I came down here and I was pegged off. I have no idea why, but I think that's what happened with me in the Civil War.
Man, that's interesting. Wow. I don't know anything about that from memory wise. Go ahead.
I don't know. The only time I remember past lives, I just remember feelings, maybe a few visions that I see, but they're fleeting and they have to do with whatever I'm grappling with at the moment. And it kind of comes to me either when I'm just daydreaming or sleeping, and then they're gone. And so I don't remember entire passages of
That's
it.
actually how it works for me. That's how it works for me. Like, yeah, like I sleep on it, wake up, or come back and be okay, or continue on with what I do, then the problem's gone. Like the problem was worked out in the unconscious.
Yeah.
It did get worked out there, and because we're in our astral. Like, oh, I didn't know that because I didn't know what astral is. All that, like, okay.
Well, I
I
think
think the
that's the
best
purpose,
one-
isn't it, of remembering is to help you solve a problem you're working through at the moment, right?
Could be because the
Yes,
only one I
that isn't. That's true. That's how it works. It really is.
the best one that I remember of past life is, I swear it was Honey, but she gonna say no, but whatever. Um, is I have many accounts walking with the man that they call Jesus. I swear that I've been around him. I remember handing out baskets of fish and bread. It never ran out. I remember people sitting on the mountainside and I could feel the smell of the salt,
Yeah, Peter.
sea salt. And I also remember, I watched Mary Magdalene wash his feet with her hair, and then put oil on it. I've seen that, and then I remember what he wore, and then I was also there and I remember breaking bread, and I swear I was at the Last Supper too, because I remember seeing that. And everybody says that he had this golden cup he drank from, but it wasn't a golden cup at all. And then when he hung on the cross, I seen that, and I seen what happened, and that's why I always go back to it, because I remember it like I was there. It was like I could feel the emotions, I could smell the air. And I knew what was happening, but as to who I was, I have no idea.
That's odd.
But I know that Honey was Mary.
When I talk to Jesus, whenever I am with him and we are discussing, we are always in a field of flowers, holding hands, walking. And
Mine
he
was
has on
sunflowers.
like those peasant shirts, those poofy peasant shirts and linen pants, and we're barefoot. That's just when I have a deep conversation with him, that's what we're doing. That's how I see him. And I think he just comes to people, he and the other ascended masters, when they do, I think they just present to you the way you're most comfortable.
Right.
Some are
Yes,
gonna
that
see
is.
him. Some are gonna see him completely differently than that, in a different
Because
manner.
I seen him. I was sitting underneath a weeping willow, and I was in a field of sunflowers, and he walked through and spoke to me. He wore a white gown with a red sash with gold trim. He had long, dark hair, and his skin was bronze, and very bronze, and he was like very. He didn't. It's like he didn't have to speak. I knew. I knew what he was saying.
Hmm.
And I remember what he wore for sandals too, and how they were made. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What I get from that time period, this is not from me, this is from somebody who was actually on a famous interview online on YouTube recently. And he was mentioning, because he channels the Ascended Masters and information too, and he gets a lot of the information by looking to the Verdes and what do you call the Oriental or Indian culture. That's where you get a lot of that. But he's mentioning that, of course, we all know that who was the man named Yeshua did not die on a cross. What happened with that happened? This is from this man's account, from when he channeled the information. That happened. That was an illusion from the 24 disciples creating the illusion that this man who was named Yeshua, Jesus, died on the cross. Why? Because he isn't going to have that happen to him, and he needed to have that happen so he could actually move away and have a life. So the illusion was that he did die, and people who I guess were there witnessed this. But this was caused by 24 ascended masters. Everyone who was in the discipleship of Yeshua were an ascended master. And this is why that happened. So everybody thinks Jesus died on the cross. But that's not even his name, but that's not really what happened. So because why would the spirit that is known as God come down, do his thing, and be like, okay, I'm supposed to represent and die for your sins when I'm teaching you, you can get out of your own hell. That doesn't make sense. There's a big controversy right now in social media and everything about this. And the truth is, from this one guy who's channeling this information, there were 24 24 disciples, not 12. Half of them were women, including Mary Magdalene, and the other half were males.
Pretty sure, AK.
Pretty sure? Yeah. Instead of
It was Judas.
Judas.
Well, there's so many different stories and different
I read
channels.
the three Christ.
There is a woman who channels Mary Magdalene, and she said, and actually she's not the only one who has told this same story. She's one of about 5 that I've listened to that have all told this same story, that actually he allowed himself to be put there, and he knew how to avoid any feeling, because he was an ascended master. The pain didn't affect him. And she offered him healing over and again, and he told her no, it was necessary, because she and all the other disciples could have avoided it, could have healed him, could have taken all of that from him. And he said, no, this is what needs to happen, and I don't feel it anyway. And she was encouraging him to just leave his body, and he said he had to stay for at least a period of time in that body.
He said he did.
But
He
then,
did say 5 years after.
and then after that, they all left, and he and Magdalene and their children went to France. Now, this is according to 5 different channels that I've listened to on 5 different spaces, interviews or whatever, over like a 10-year period. So I don't know. I mean, there's so many different people saying kind of different things, but they all essentially say what you're saying, Mac, is that it really didn't happen the way they're all saying it happened, that it was kind of an illusion, that he wasn't there in body, and he just was there for the appearance of it so that they could leave.
Yes, and that's
Well,
what
I
it was.
can I can explain to you what I seen, what
Okay.
I heard, from that, and I do remember that. And this is what I got is when they did the Last Supper, Judas betrayed him. Okay, so when that happened, is he had he took some of that some kind of poison that takes a little bit to go in your system, and what it does, it slows down your heart rate. So what he did is when he did all that, they did that torture thing to him. They made him cut with the thorns and made him carry the cross, and all that helped and all that. What it was it was getting his system, revving it up to get active. So when he was hanging there, he was cut and it drained some of that blood. Now, here's the part that a lot of people don't realize is that Pilate, they when they said, oh, when he did all that stuff where, the ground shook and he said all that stuff there, but after that he really didn't pass on. What happened is after they took him down from there, they put him in that cloth and put him in there. Well, Pilate put some guards there he trusted because he wanted him to be free. So they opened it up, let him out. He went preaching around that area for 5 to 7 years and then moved away with Magdalene. And the whole thing is they thought he was passed on because of the poison that he had taken, which slows your heart rate down.
It was digitalis. It's a flower. It's an herb. Digitalis is the name of the herb, which is taken from the flower that slows your heart rate. And actually, they make drugs from it today that they use today for heart medications to slow your heart rate.
Because,
I wonder
I
if
remember seeing.
That's what I remember reading and hearing, was that he had the essence from the digitalis flower, so they couldn't detect a pulse.
Right, and later on, when I said I had seen him again, he did, and at first, I'm like, that's not him. And then I looked closely, he did have the scar on his breastplate. He did have the 2 holes on his hands, and he did have some of the scars from the thorns around his neck, around his head. And he did have some marks on his back. So I was like, huh? Back then. And he did come out, and see, that's the thing is, a lot. He did have children with Mary, and I'm pretty sure it was like 3 children.
Yeah, he had a boy and 2 girls, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
they moved out of that with it after I'm pretty sure it was either, I keep thinking 3 to 7 years, and then he moved out. He left that area and went to another one and lived.
yeah, because he did the road to Damascus and walked with Paul and did teachings, and it
11:11.
Kurt did teachings and taught others, but the people who channel Magdalene, and I can kind of feel this in a way. She was as advanced as Yeshua, as was Mother Mary. They were all very advanced healers. And because of the day, they wouldn't let the women work on anybody, especially the men. They wouldn't
They
accept
were
it.
twin flames.
Well, that yes, they were part of the same soul. Yeshua and Magdalene were, but all of them were healers, master healers. And so what they would do was they would keep the people in a crowd, and they would walk through the crowds of people doing healings, so that by the time they got into the room with Yeshua, most of the work had been done, so it wouldn't just waste him, having to do that many healings in one day. And but he still, it still was a very difficult time for him. He would be very tired at the end of the day. But that's what several of the people that have channeled Magdalene said, was that the disciples all were very advanced healers, and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene both stayed with him always to help him, because it was just such a. And then the other disciples as well, they would just circulate through the crowd and just do healing as they were circulating, and then by the time they got in there to him, he could just finish it up, finish the healing, and then they were healed by Yeshua, But in reality, it was all of them working together. But he came during a time of a great revolution, and he was part of like the government takedown. He was a revolutionary, and he got too popular. He got too dangerous, which is why they were so bent on getting rid of him. And they knew that he was in great danger all the time. But they were raised together, Magdalene and Yeshua. Their families were great friends. And Magdalene's uncle is the one, what was his name? The one that had the tomb. He had a lot of money. Her family had a lot of money. And Yeshua's family had some money, but not as much as Magdalene's did. But they pooled all their money, and that's what funded this whole revolution. And so all the stories about her being a this and a that, they were not true. She was sent off to school growing up into, what was considered proper for a woman to learn in. And then he was sent over to the East to learn all the arts over there. But they knew they were going to come back. They were betrothed, and they knew they were going to come back together. And when he came back and they married is when the 3.5 years started of his intense teachings and travelings. They would often go off together, and it was the way people described it was they would entwine and be as one. And it's because they split their soul and came together that way to be more powerful, But anyway, and most of that really resonates with me. Some of the stories I've heard, I'm like, nah, that didn't happen. And I don't know how I know that, but I know that didn't happen. And the one that does resonate the most with me is that they were raised up together, and they already knew what their what their purpose was. They came in completely in remembrance of who they were. And there were times when he was young, when he had so much power that he could actually cause things to happen simply by looking at things, and that he accidentally caused some issues. So they thought, well, we better send him to get better control of his power. When he was like 11 or 12, they finally decided they better send him off to learn with the masters in the East, because he was kind of causing accidents. you know. And that all, excuse me, that all sounds very true to me. Out of all the readings and all the things I've researched and listened to and read, I just picked out the things that sounded absolutely, it just resonated with me. And I thought, yeah, that sounds right. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making it up. I don't know. But I do feel like there were some things that people say about them that was just made up. It didn't happen. And ever since I was a little child, I've been very protective of Mary Magdalene and how people spoke of her. And I would tell people all the time, that's not true. What you're saying, what the Bible says, that's not true. And I knew it. I mean, I absolutely knew it. It was not true. So I started reading about her really early in my life, like 11 or 12. Really reading about her, trying to find information on her. And then I did a whole series during a Lenten season at church just on Mary Magdalene of what she really was, who she really was, and gave the homilies every week on that. It was very interesting.
Congratulations.
You know you have a
Glad
ship
you
near
did
you
that.
right now,
Yeah, it is. It is. It's here.
honey?
Yeah, it's here.
You have, you have a ship right above you right now.
Yeah, I know. It's been
I
here.
can hear it.
It's been here for a while.
It's
That's
a
what
Palladian ship.
a Pleiadian?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the same. That's the same kind of thing that I'm hearing when we were on that video. Remember, Mac?
What's
the,
part of it?
the person
The-
talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that same noise and that same vibrational frequency as me and Mac heard that night when I was coming through on me.
Well, and what we saw tonight on the way home is what is over my house every night. That's why I asked him if he could see it. And he actually saw it tonight. And that's the one he was trying to tell me was a plane. Except it wasn't a plane. But no, it's here.
Because you can hear it, Mac. You hear it right behind her voice. I'm sitting here listening to it, and that's the same sound as I heard whenever she comes. I hear that sound. That
Whistling. It sounds like a whistling sound. Yeah, I hear that. I don't know what that is. I'm like, that's like a damn cars going by in the background of me.
yes, that's the engine of the ship.
It remind me of that one story, that one dude went out through that weird area that got blasted, got burned. Remind me of something like that, because he described a sound. There was like a whirling sound of it, and it was some weird chemical burn, but it was just how he explained it. Because the guy hit on his chest. This is something that happened 2000 something that got reported. Anyways, he was, I don't know, but that reminded me of that. But that's what that sounds like. That's interesting.
You can hear it. You can hear it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure.
clear as day.
I've tried really hard to take pictures of it and it won't show up. But
You're not polite enough to ask it or something. Hey, can you show up so we can have some evidence, or whatever it is you want to have out of it? Because that's what it was mentioned to be before.
I do. I ask it every
Okay.
night and it blinks and it does things, but it won't let me take a picture of it. But I talk to it. I talk to it every night. And it's been here for a while.
They're monitoring you. They're watching.
Yeah. I know. I sit out here and talk to it. But like a mad woman. But yeah.
It's funny because I could hear her voice. That's why I said I knew who it was.
Yeah, that
I've
noise
heard
right
that.
there.
I've heard that vibration for so much. I can actually, it's kind of like somebody's voice. You can tell.
See,
Yeah,
then
I
I
think
gotta be this. Oh, sorry.
I don't think they're monitoring me as much as they're just hanging out with me, honestly.
It's a little bit of both.
Well, what would they monitor me for, Brim?
Just the progress of each. Those are your
Yeah,
people.
your
That's
progress.
those are your ones that are signed to you. Like we all got that, you know.
Right.
So I was like, well, that's all it is. It's like they're the ones. They're either it's your oversoul. Of course, it should be one of them should be your oversoul, and then the rest of them should be your other guides. So
But yeah, it's been very bright for the last. I think didn't I start telling you about it, Brim, about a month ago, where it's really
Right.
bright and big, and he has seen it too. He just tells me he thinks it's something else.
yeah, I'm just seeing the golden light coming towards me when I.
But
When
there
I
was
land.
no question tonight on the way home when we were out. It was there, and it just stayed beside us all the way back to our house. And now it's
Yeah, I
just been
guess you're gonna stop asking. Sorry.
now it's just been hanging out here ever since. So I know, AK, my husband, he sees it, but he won't admit it, or he'll tell me it's Venus or some other thing.
Do you feel like it's upgrading you in some way? Somebody's down there asking metaphysics.
Yeah, sometimes I do, Mia. Like right now, I feel real shaky inside. Um, like when you get really cold and you can't control the shivers. Except I'm not cold. I'm hot.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. I've had that a few times.
What
But I'm
she
shaking.
said is, this is what she's saying right now. She's saying they're there to help you with the vibrations, to put you on the par that you need because your vibrations are a little bit off and they're like tuning you like a tuning fork. Trying to help you is what they're doing.
I feel it.
Thank you for that, then. Thank you.
And that's what she's saying right now.
Yeah. Well, I tell her thank you, and I feel it. I'm shaking all over, actually. Like I can't stop shaking.
Yeah, because I was wondering what the heck that was about. Like, and then I was told what he's mentioning that it's just you're being tuned, you're upgrading. I thought it was because it's like I thought it was coming off other people when I was outside with other people. But if it was happening here and I'm doing nothing but going in, what the hell am I shaking? But I was told, Robert was like, well, when you actually do astral travel, you can be shaking, flopping around like a fish. I'm like, well, I haven't done that yet, but I'm just saying, like, okay, so it's kind of like the idea. Because I've experienced that myself, but it's not through just having something that I think is here. And there's everything is around me. That's what I'm saying. That I'm the Akashic record holder. All the information is given to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it is. Oh, okay. I'm like, this is what it says. This is weird. This is just weird. Everybody is giving me the information, and I'm supposed to just sort it out. It's like a Metatron thing, but he writes the information. I'm just getting it. So I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. Well, this has been going on for a while, and it's just more intense the last month or so. And like I said, it's like I'm shaking all over, and I had to put the phone down. I can't even hold the phone. And I felt it last night too, not as strong. And then yesterday morning, right before noon, probably, it was pretty strong. But it's always strong at night. When I'm out here at night, usually around 2-ish. It's like 10:30 here now. And if I come out here and I'm still out here around between 1 and 2, it's really strong. I sometimes have to go inside.
That's so strange that it's those hours that happens, because I know what you mean. You wake up and it's that time, or you're staying up and then you don't go to bed until later on. When it's past that time, yeah, I know what you mean. And you get all the it's in heightened there. Why is that? Because it's the new
And then
day.
I can't. Yeah, then I can't sleep. Right? I mean, I can't. I'm too wound up. I can't.
Yeah, then you have to somehow rest. I have to be mindful of that. Like, okay, if I want to sleep, but I need to sleep, I have to come down. I can't feel like that anymore. I have to come down so I can rest. Right? I mean, that's a little bit
Well,
different, right? I get that.
I can't make myself come down.
Yeah.
It's like I can't.
So for me, listen to frequency music, something that's a low vibration or low frequency, like 185, 184 hertz. Seriously, listen to the music that like that low, or listen to 369 hertz. You know, something low vibrational, and then speed that up a little bit. The minute I do that, I listen to music every night. I'm listening to meditation music every night for like 5 years now. It's something I got into, and it's like it's been helping me. So I'm just telling people to do that. 525, 369, 412, 415, 417. I mean,
I
pick
listen
your,
to a
pick your
lot of
poison.
frequencies, and there's a girl on YouTube. Her name is Katie, and she does encoded frequencies. And I listen to her. She writes her own music and writes her own frequencies and encodes them with her light language.
Oh my God, she gives me a great idea. Sorry.
And I listen to her, and it helps a lot when I get like this. And so I probably will go listen to her for a little while here in a bit.
What's her name? She's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's encoded frequencies with Katie. Katie, and she has the most beautiful voice. And then she
Oh,
writes
wow.
her own frequencies and music and encodes it all with her codes, um, I guess her frequencies.
High she does high vibrational
Yeah,
music.
it's like the stuff that I want to do. I want to do with video, like making short videos, like you're watching a movie, but it's music behind it.
Well,
Like, whoa, what is this?
that's what Katie does, and usually they're short, and she'll channel galactic. She'll channel, like, she has a meditation that's only about 15 minutes long. That's with a Magdalene frequency that I listen to usually 2 or 3 times a week, and then she'll have the God frequency, or there's several that she has made through her channelings with these beings, and she'll have the Pleiadian and
There's
the
a whole list right here.
Arcturians, and different frequencies, and she'll do her light language and
I'm gonna
her.
have to write this down.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Katie
Um,
with an I.
yeah, she did a video about 2 months ago, I think, where she was doing an interview. She does healings, over Zoom or phone or whatever, and she'll record them. And the one that she did, it made me cry. She and another woman who is as gifted as Katie is, they were together, combining their energies, and they were communicating with different channels, and they were given a timeline. They were given 3 different timelines, and it could go this way, or that way. And 2 of them were not so happy, and the other one was much better. And so what she and her friend took from that, it was a very emotional recording, but what they took from that was, we need to really get busy manifesting, increasing our frequencies so that we can
Yeah, plant those seeds.
get there.
Get
So we can
get
get
other people. Just put it in their minds that it's a possibility. You don't even have to like change somebody's mind. You just put it out there, and just enough said.
right. And Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I've listened to it a few times and I cry every time I listen to it because it is so emotional. And what they're talking about is, the sadness of the people that are staying in these alternate timelines.
Oh, River wants to know what her name was.
Yeah, I typed it in. It's encoded frequencies with Katie.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Suzanne went and played with her grandson. She just
That's
went.
right here. This is her YouTube channel right here. I had to bring it back up. Computer reset.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought her up. She's beautiful. Her voice, her music.
Stop playing with me! See? I ain't doing nothing. So I get this crap all the time. What? I just went crazy on its own. Yeah, there's some
Maybe
video
it's
here.
picking one out for you, Mac. Calm down.
Yeah, I know, right?
You spilled
No more
spilled the soda on your mouse wheel.
Come on, man.
What'd you say, AK?
I was like, I was just joking. I was like, oh, you accidentally spilled some soda on your mouse. But anyways, I wanted to come up and let everybody know there was a awesome lady on Commander's show, and she has all kinds of proof. She's been on some very popular podcasts, and she's got so much proof. And the stuff she was saying was just like, yes, you know, and she like people. She did Uber driving, and then people would find out that, oh, you can like contact ships and ships will just show up and like, yeah, you want to see one, and just like boom, like right there. She actually has footage of beings and stuff that she has had contact with, and she was going to show it, but she's 55 years old and she was having a hard time figuring out how to get it onto TikTok live stuff, and so nobody got to see it, but she was asked to come back today, and she was just going to email the stuff to Commander so he could play it and she could jump back up and talk. But yeah, I just want to let everybody know, if you want to see some beings, maybe not to step on anybody's toes.
Well, maybe
Britain.
we could.
I
Yeah,
know you have
we could always.
your own show going on right now.
I know, but we can watch it on YouTube. They'll have it posted by tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I actually don't. I haven't ever gone to YouTube to watch any of this past stuff.
Well,
But
actually,
I really like.
YouTube is the future.
I'm not going to go that long tonight anyway because I have to prepare for the next couple of days. So I was only going to run until 12 anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to just, I don't know, tell everybody this really awesome lady is coming up. She's got some hard evidence and she wants to share it.
Well, I wish she had more technology, was more tech savvy, and it seems like she
Yeah,
would.
tech savvy.
It
Yeah,
seems-
she barely, like, she's not really a TikToker, but she went on to the podcast name. It's a very popular podcast, and
Was it Next Level Soul?
no.
No.
Anyways, I don't know, like
That's the one I
stuff she
found
was
that went with the
saying,
issue.
everything was clicking, and so it's like, oh, just like when I talk, when Honey, when you're talking, when Rivers is talking, yeah, everybody in here, everybody is like, oh man, everybody like is in the know. We are in the know of.
Well, he's on right
things
now,
coming.
and CC Cruz is on.
I don't
Okay.
know. Well, and like Mia too. Mia here, she's been in the know forever. She knew a long time ago, and she helped me a lot when I was trying to figure things out too. There's a lot of very interesting people who know, and we all seem to be able to find each other, and that's just wonderful. And look at Yaya. I mean, I met her like years ago, and the changes in Yaya have been astounding, literally astounding. She looks 10 years younger at the very least.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, is that me?
I think that
No,
might be
that's him.
bleed through or something.
That was you. That was on you. You were the only mic that was open at the time.
Yeah, me.
Then that would be the host.
Huh?
Back the background music, the background TV. Actually, it's the television.
There's nothing on.
Yeah, it's bleed through from another life, I think.
There is nothing else on, see?
So it's from your phone, AK, bleeding through from the other live.
I don't think I was muted and we could still hear it. So
I tell you, you never know what happens on this show.
No.
Live.
I am gonna go though. I love you all. I'm gonna go sit in some Epsom salts.
All right, honey. You have a
Get
good
back
night.
up. Get through this. I love all of you, and I will see you again.
It's been great. We're gonna end the live here because I have to get ready for some other stuff I got to do this week. So, be kind of a short
Okay.
one. We'll probably have a longer one on Thursday.
no worries.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right.
Everybody else,
Thank you
have a
all
good
for
night.
coming.
Good night, everybody.
Y'all have a good night. Blessed be.